Once upon a time, in the vibrant kingdom of Luminera, there was a small village called Starhaven, famous for its breathtaking night skies. Each evening, the villagers would gather to gaze at the stars, which seemed to twinkle in patterns of stories and legends. At the center of Starhaven was an ancient lantern known as the Lantern of Stars, which was said to hold the power to guide lost souls and bring light in the darkest times. In Starhaven lived a brave and kind-hearted girl named Elowen. She had a special bond with the lantern and would often visit it to make wishes for her village. One fateful night, as Elowen was preparing for the annual Star Festival, the lantern's light suddenly flickered and went out, plunging the village into darkness. The stars in the sky seemed to dim, and a thick fog began to roll in, casting a gloomy shadow over Starhaven. The village elder, a wise man named Orin, revealed that the Lantern of Stars had been enchanted long ago by the great Star Weaver, who had hidden its magical core, a brilliant star gem, in a distant land. Without the star gem, the lantern would remain dark, and the light of the stars would be lost. Orin told Elowen that she was the only one who could retrieve the star gem and restore the lantern's light. Determined to save her village, Elowen set off on a quest, accompanied by her loyal friend, a mischievous squirrel named Tully. They journeyed through lush forests, crossed winding rivers, and scaled steep hills. Along the way, they encountered 3 magical challenges that would test their courage and wit. Their first challenge was a vast, shimmering lake that seemed to stretch endlessly. A mystical sea serpent with iridescent scales emerged from the water and offered them a riddle. "To cross this lake, you must answer my riddle," the serpent said with a voice like the rippling waves. "I am not alive, but I grow. I don't have lungs, but I need air. I don't have a mouth, but water kills me. What am I?" Elowen thought carefully and then replied, "A fire." The sea serpent nodded, creating a path of glowing pearls across the lake. Elowen and Tully crossed the lake safely and continued their journey. Soon, they arrived at a dark, tangled forest where the trees seemed to move and shift. A wise old owl perched on a branch above them and spoke. "To pass through this forest, you must show bravery," the owl said. "What is always in front of you but can't be seen?" Elowen pondered for a moment and then answered, "The future." The owl hooted in approval, and the forest parted to reveal a clear path. As they walked through, they reached a meadow bathed in moonlight. At its center stood a majestic stag with a shimmering antler, its eyes filled with sorrow. "I guard the entrance to the Cave of Echoes," the stag said. "To enter, you must show empathy. My fawn is lost in the cave. Can you help find it?" Elowen and Tully entered the Cave of Echoes, where the walls seemed to whisper and reverberate with every sound. They followed the soft cries of the fawn and found it huddled in a corner, frightened but unharmed. Elowen gently comforted the fawn and guided it back to the stag. Grateful, the stag used its magic to open a hidden passage within the cave. At the end of the passage, Elowen and Tully discovered a small chamber where the star gem was resting on a pedestal, glowing softly. However, the chamber was guarded by a shadowy figure, an envious sorceress who had sought to steal the star gem's power for herself. "You cannot take the star gem," the sorceress declared. "It belongs to me." Elowen stood her ground, her heart pounding but her resolve unwavering. The star gem belongs to the lantern and the light it brings to the world. It should be used for the good of all, not for selfish desires. The sorceress raised her staff to strike, but Tully scampered up and distracted her long enough for Elowen to grab the star gem. A brilliant light erupted from the gem, banishing the shadows and neutralizing the sorceress's dark magic. With the star gem safely in her possession, Elowen made her way back to Starhaven. As she approached the village, she placed the star gem back into the Lantern of Stars. The lantern's light blazed brightly, casting a warm, golden glow across the village. The stars in the sky twinkled more vividly than ever before, and the fog lifted, revealing a clear, starry night. The villagers of Starhaven celebrated Elowen's bravery and the restoration of the lantern's light with a grand festival. The Lantern of Stars was once again the beacon of hope and guidance for the village, and Elowen's name was remembered as a symbol of courage and selflessness. And so, under the shimmering light of the lantern of stars, the village of Starhaven thrived, living happily ever after. Once upon a time, in a small village nestled at the edge of a mystical forest, there was a tale about an enchanted lantern. This lantern, made of delicate silver and adorned with glowing gems, was said to have the power to grant one wish to anyone who found it. However, it could only be found by someone with a pure heart. In this village lived a kind-hearted boy named Finn. He was known for his generosity and bravery. One evening, as the sun set behind the forest, casting a golden hue over the land, Finn heard a whispering breeze that spoke of the enchanted lantern. Excited by the tale, Finn decided to seek out this magical object, hoping to use its power to help others. With a small satchel of provisions, Finn set out into the forest. The trees were tall and ancient, their branches creating a canopy that allowed only slivers of sunlight to filter through. As he ventured deeper, he encountered a wise old owl perched on a branch. "Greetings, young Finn," the owl hooted softly. "What brings you to this enchanted forest?" Finn bowed respectfully. "I seek the enchanted lantern that is said to grant one wish. I wish to use its power to bring happiness to my village." The owl's eyes twinkled. "A noble quest. To find the lantern, you must first solve 3 challenges that test your heart." With a nod, Finn followed the owl's instructions and soon arrived at a serene glade. There, a sparkling stream flowed gently, and beside it stood a large, ancient tree with a face carved into its trunk. "Welcome, Finn," the tree rumbled. "To proceed, you must solve my riddle. I have keys, but open no locks. I have space, but no room. You can enter, but not go outside. What am I?" Finn thought hard and then smiled. "A piano." The tree's face smiled back. "Well done. You may continue." As Finn walked further, he came across a meadow filled with flowers of every color. Among them was a small, golden chest guarded by a mischievous squirrel. To open this chest, the squirrel said, "You must solve my riddle. I can be crabbed, made, told, and played. What am I?" Finn thought for a moment and then answered, "A joke." The squirrel nodded and handed Finn a small, silver key. "You are on the right path. Use this key wisely." Finn thanked the squirrel and continued on his journey. Eventually, he arrived at a serene, moonlit pond. At its center was a floating lily pad with a glowing lantern resting upon it. However, the lantern was surrounded by a circle of enchanted mist. Suddenly, a beautiful fairy appeared. To take the lantern, you must answer one final question. What is the most valuable thing you can give to someone? Finn thought about his family, friends, and the village he loved. "The most valuable thing you can give is love," he said with conviction. The fairy smiled warmly. "You have answered truly. The lantern is yours." Finn carefully took the lantern from the lily pad. As he held it, the glowing gems twinkled brightly, casting a warm light that filled the forest. Finn made his way back to the village, the lantern's light guiding him through the dark forest. Upon returning, Finn gathered the villagers and held up the lantern. "With this lantern, I wish for our village to be filled with joy, harmony, and prosperity." As he spoke, the lantern's light spread across the village, touching every home and heart. The once quiet village came alive with laughter, music, and a sense of community. Gardens bloomed with vibrant flowers, and the fields yielded abundant harvests. The villagers were happier than ever, and Finn's selfless wish brought prosperity and peace to the land. From that day on, the enchanted lantern remained a symbol of kindness and the magic that comes from a pure heart. And though the lantern's light eventually dimmed, the warmth it brought to the village never faded. Finn's tale became a cherished story, reminding everyone that the greatest magic of all comes from giving with love and having a heart full of generosity. Once upon a time, in a charming little village surrounded by rolling green hills, there was a curious shop known as Whispers of Wonder. The shop was owned by an old woman named Alara, who was renowned for her collection of magical artifacts and whimsical curiosities. Among the many treasures in her shop was an exquisite music box made of polished wood and adorned with intricate carvings of stars and flowers. This music box was said to be enchanted, though no one knew its true power. In this village lived a kind-hearted boy named Finn. Finn was known for his adventurous spirit and his love of music. He often played his flute by the river and dreamt of discovering magical places. One day, while exploring Whispers of Wonder, Finn was drawn to the music box. The soft, melodic tune it played was both soothing and enchanting. Ilara noticed Finn's fascination and smiled warmly. "Ah, the music box," she said. "It's a very special piece. It's said that whoever listens to its melody will find their heart's deepest wish." Finn's eyes sparkled with curiosity. "Do you really believe that?" he asked. Ilara nodded. "I do. But remember, magic often requires belief and courage." That evening, Finn sat by the river, listening to the music box's tune. As he listened, he thought about his deepest wish, to find a place where music could be heard and shared by everyone, a place where dreams and melodies intertwined. He wished for a magical realm where music brought people together and filled their hearts with joy. The next morning, Finn awoke to find the music box glowing softly. A note appeared, written in shimmering ink, "Follow the melody to find your heart's desire." Excited and determined, Finn set out on a journey guided by the music box's melody. He ventured into the forest, where the trees seemed to sway in rhythm with the tune. The path led him to a hidden glen, bathed in a warm, golden light. In the center of the glen stood a magnificent tree, its branches adorned with glowing musical notes. As Finn approached the tree, he heard the music box's melody growing louder. Suddenly, the tree's bark parted to reveal a shimmering door. Without hesitation, Finn stepped through the door and found himself in a magical realm known as Harmonia. Harmonia was a land where music and magic flourished. The skies were filled with colorful musical notes, and the air was alive with harmonious melodies. Enchanted creatures played instruments, and magical beings danced gracefully, their movements creating beautiful symphonies. Finn marveled at the sight, and as he wandered through Harmonia, he came across a grand concert hall where a magnificent orchestra was playing. The music was unlike anything he had ever heard, uplifting, joyful, and full of wonder. The audience, a diverse mix of magical beings and creatures, was captivated by the performance. At the end of the concert, the conductor, a wise and graceful being named Lyra, noticed Finn. She approached him with a warm smile. "Welcome to Harmonia," she said. "I see you've discovered our world. What brings you here?" Finn explained his wish for a place where music could bring people together. Lyra listened attentively and nodded. "You found the very heart of Harmonia. Here, music has the power to unite, heal, and inspire. But our realm is in need of a special gift, a new melody that will bring hope and joy to everyone." Lyra handed Finn a magical baton, adorned with sparkling gems. "Will you help us create this melody?" Honored, Finn accepted the baton and joined the orchestra. He poured his heart into composing a new piece, drawing inspiration from the beauty of Harmonia and the melodies he had heard. The music flowed from his soul, creating a melody that was both moving and uplifting. As the orchestra played Finn's composition, a magical aura enveloped Harmonia. The melodies resonated through the land, bringing harmony and joy to every corner of the realm. The magical beings rejoiced, and Finn felt a deep sense of fulfillment. With the melody complete, Lyra thanked Finn for his gift and presented him with a special token, a silver music note pendant. "This will remind you of the magic of Harmonia and the power of music. Whenever you play your flute, remember that you have the ability to inspire and bring joy to others." Finn returned to his village, carrying the pendant in a heart full of newfound inspiration. He shared the magical music he had created with the villagers, and soon, the village was filled with joyous music and laughter. The villagers gathered regularly to share melodies and stories, and the village became a place where music truly brought people together. And so, Finn's wish had come true. The music box's magic had led him to Harmonia and back, where he had discovered the power of music to unite hearts and create joy. The village thrived with the spirit of harmony and song, and Finn's adventure became a beloved tale of wonder and magic. And under the twinkling stars and the gentle melodies of the night, the village and its inhabitants lived happily ever after, their hearts forever touched by the magic of the enchanted music box. The end. Once upon a time, in a lush valley surrounded by misty mountains, there was a village called Elmswood. Elmswood was famous for its vibrant meadows, sparkling streams, and a mysterious lantern that hung at the edge of the village. This lantern, known as the Enchanted Lantern, was said to hold magical powers that could bring prosperity and joy to the village. The lantern had been a cherished symbol for generations, but one fateful autumn night, its light began to flicker and fade. The once brilliant glow was reduced to a dim, sputtering light, casting shadows over Elmswood. The villagers grew worried, for without the lantern's light, their crops began to wilt, and their spirits sank. Among the villagers was a courageous girl named Arya. She had always been fascinated by the lantern and its magic. Determined to restore its light, Arya decided to embark on a quest to find out what had caused the lantern's dimming and to save it. With a heart full of resolve, Arya packed a small bag with essentials and set off toward the enchanted forest, which was said to be the source of the lantern's magic. She was accompanied by her faithful friend, a clever and spirited squirrel named Nutmeg. As Arya and Nutmeg ventured into the forest, they were greeted by the enchanting sights and sounds of the woods. The trees whispered secrets, and the leaves rustled with a soft melody. They soon came across a wise old tree with bark like ancient scrolls. The tree spoke in a gentle, rumbling voice. To restore the enchanted lantern's light, you must seek out the 3 lost fragments of its magic: the feather of the phoenix, the tear of the moon, and the petal of the everbloom. Arya nodded and thanked the wise tree, setting out on her journey to find the first fragment, the feather of the phoenix. The phoenix was a mythical bird known for its brilliant feathers and fiery spirit. Arya followed the directions given by the wise tree, which led her to a high, sunlit cliff. There, perched on a branch, was the phoenix, its feathers shimmering like flames. The bird looked at Arya with wise, glowing eyes. To earn the feather of the phoenix, the bird said, "You must show true bravery." A sudden storm swept across the cliff, with howling winds and pouring rain. The phoenix's nest was in danger of being washed away. Without hesitation, Arya shielded the nest from the storm, using her cloak to protect the phoenix and its eggs. The phoenix, impressed by Arya's courage and selflessness, granted her a radiant feather. With the feather safely tucked away, Arya and Nutmeg continued their journey and soon reached a tranquil, moonlit lake. At the edge of the lake was a beautiful, silver-blue swan. The swan was known to hold the tear of the moon, which would appear only under the light of the full moon. Arya waited patiently by the lake, and as the moon reached its zenith, a single tear fell from the swan's eye and landed in the water. Arya carefully collected the tear in a small vial. The swan, moved by Arya's patience and respect for the moon's beauty, gave her the tear with a graceful nod. With 2 fragments of magic secured, Arya and Nutmeg ventured deeper into the forest, reaching a hidden garden that bloomed under the starlight. In the center of the garden stood a majestic flower known as the everbloom. Its petals were said to glow with the light of 1,000 stars. As Arya approached, a mischievous pixie appeared, fluttering around the flower. To obtain a petal from the everbloom, you must answer my question: what is the greatest gift of all? Arya thought for a moment and replied, "The greatest gift of all is love." The pixie smiled and, with a wave of her tiny wand, plucked a glowing petal from the everbloom and handed it to Arya. "You have answered wisely," said the pixie. With all 3 fragments in hand, Arya and Nutmeg returned to Elmswood. The villagers gathered around the dim lantern, their faces hopeful. Arya carefully placed the feather of the phoenix, the tear of the moon, and the petal of the everbloom into the lantern's base. The lantern began to glow brightly, its light intensifying until it illuminated the entire village. The crops began to flourish again, and the villagers' spirits were lifted. The lantern's magic had returned, bringing prosperity and joy back to Elmswood. Arya was celebrated as a heroine, and her bravery and kindness became a cherished story in the village. The enchanted lantern continued to shine brightly, a symbol of hope and magic for generations to come. And so, Elmswood thrived under the warm, radiant light of the enchanted lantern, living happily ever after. The tale of the Dreamweaver's lantern. Once upon a time, in a quaint village nestled between rolling hills and a sprawling forest, there was a legend about a magical lantern known as the Dreamweaver's lantern. The lantern was said to hold the power to bring dreams to life and to make the deepest wishes of those with pure hearts come true. But the lantern had been lost for generations, and many had given up hope of ever finding it. In this village lived a young girl named Lily, known for her boundless imagination and her love of storytelling. She would often sit by the village's ancient oak tree, spinning tales of adventure and wonder for anyone who would listen. Lily had always dreamed of finding the Dreamweaver's lantern and using its magic to help her village, which had been struggling with a long drought that had left the fields barren. One starry night, as Lily gazed at the twinkling sky, she saw a shooting star streak across the heavens. With a hopeful heart, she made a wish that she could find the Dreamweaver's lantern and bring prosperity to her village. As the star faded, she felt a strange sensation as if the air around her was shimmering with possibility. The next morning, Lily found the small, ornate box at the base of the ancient oak tree. The box was covered in intricate carvings of stars and moons and had a delicate silver key hanging from a tiny hook. Inside the box was a parchment with a map and a note that read, "To find the Dreamweaver's lantern, follow the path of stars and trust in the magic of your heart." Excited and determined, Lily set out on her journey. Following the map, she ventured into the forest, where the path was lined with glowing stones that seemed to light up as she walked. As the sun set and the forest grew darker, the stones began to twinkle like stars, guiding her deeper into the woods. After hours of walking, Lily arrived at a hidden clearing bathed in moonlight. In the center of the clearing stood a magnificent tree with silver leaves and branches that sparkled like diamonds. At the base of the tree was a pedestal, and on the pedestal rested the Dreamweaver's lantern, glowing softly with an ethereal light. Lily approached the lantern with reverence. She carefully unlocked the lantern using the key from the box. As the lantern opened, a soft, golden light spilled out, and a gentle voice filled the air. "Welcome, Lily. You have found the Dreamweaver's lantern, a symbol of hope and magic. Your heart's wish shall be granted, but remember, true magic comes from within." Lily looked at the lantern, her heart swelling with emotion. "I wish for my village to be blessed with rain so that the fields may flourish and our people may be happy once more." The lantern's light grew brighter, and Lily felt a warm breeze enveloping her. She watched in awe as the light from the lantern spread out over the forest, transforming into a shimmering cloud that drifted towards the village. Lily made her way back to the village, her heart full of hope. As she arrived, she saw the first drops of rain beginning to fall from the cloud. The rain was gentle but steady, soaking into the parched earth and bringing life back to the fields. The villagers gathered, amazed at the sudden change in their fortunes. The once barren fields began to turn green, and the joy of the village was palpable. Lily was celebrated as a hero, but she humbly told everyone about the Dreamweaver's lantern and the magic it had brought. She reminded them that while the lantern had played a part, it was their own hope and unity that had truly made the difference. As the rain continued to nourish the land, Lily kept the lantern safe and cherished its lessons. The village thrived, and the story of Lily in the Dreamweaver's lantern became a cherished tale, passed down through generations. It served as a reminder that magic was not just in enchanted objects, but in the dreams, wishes, and efforts of those who dared to believe in them. And so, the village prospered, and Lily's name was forever remembered as a symbol of hope and magic, reminding everyone that even the smallest light can illuminate the darkest of times. And they all lived happily ever after. I hope you enjoyed this fairy tale.
In a small village nestled at the edge of an ancient forest, there was a tale told to children every night. The tale was about the moonlit forest, a magical place that only appeared under the full moon. The villagers believed that the forest held a hidden treasure, a crystal known as the Moonstone, which could grant a single wish to anyone who found it. Young Eleanor, a curious and brave girl, had always been fascinated by this tale. One clear, full moon night, as the villagers gathered around the fire, Eleanor decided it was time to discover the truth for herself. She packed a small bag with essentials, kissed her mother goodbye, and ventured into the moonlit forest. Entering the moonlit forest, as Eleanor stepped into the forest, the moonlight seemed to weave through the trees, creating a silver pathway on the ground. The forest was alive with gentle whispers and soft, glowing lights. Eleanor followed the moonlit path, her heart racing with excitement and wonder. Soon, she encountered a talking owl perched on a low branch.
The owl had eyes like gleaming amber and a wise demeanor. "Welcome to the moonlit forest," he hooted. "I am Ollivander, the guardian of the forest's secrets. To find the moonstone, you must first prove your worth through 3 trials. The first trial, the riddle of the stars. Ollivander presented Eleanor with a riddle. "I am not alive, but I grow. I don't have lungs, but I need air. I don't have a mouth, but water kills me. What am I?" Eleanor thought carefully. The answer was fire. Ollivander nodded approvingly and allowed her to proceed to the next trial. "Well done. Your journey has only just begun." The second trial, the River of Reflections. Eleanor came to a shimmering river with waters as clear as crystal. The river was known for reflecting one's deepest fears and desires. As she prepared to cross, the reflection showed her a vision of her village in peril. She saw smoke rising and heard the cries of her family. Fearful but determined, Eleanor focused on her mission and crossed the river, ignoring the haunting visions. On the other side, a gentle sprite appeared. "You have shown great courage and strength. The final trial awaits." The third trial, the Bridge of Trust. Eleanor reached a rickety wooden bridge that spanned a deep chasm. The bridge was swaying, and it seemed dangerous to cross. A voice from the shadows spoke, "To cross this bridge, you must trust in your heart and take the first step without knowing what lies ahead." Eleanor took a deep breath and stepped onto the bridge. As she moved, the bridge steadied under her feet, glowing softly with each step. She realized that her trust and bravery were guiding her safely across. Finding the moonstone at the end of the bridge, Eleanor entered a moonlit glade where the moonstone was said to be hidden. The glade was bathed in a soft, ethereal light, and at its center stood a pedestal with a glowing crystal. The moonstone was even more beautiful than she had imagined, radiating a soft, calming light. Eleanor approached the moonstone and carefully lifted it from the pedestal. A voice echoed through the glade, "You have completed the trials and proven your worth. What is your wish?" Eleanor thought about her village and the people she loved. Her heart ached with the desire to help them. "I wish for the safety and happiness of my village and for the forest to always remain magical." As she spoke, the moonstone's light grew brighter, and a gentle breeze carried her wish throughout the forest. The moonstone returned to its pedestal, and the glade was filled with a warm, golden light. Returning home with her wish granted, Eleanor made her way back to her village. As she emerged from the forest, she saw that everything was as it should be, her village was safe, and the people were celebrating under the moonlight. Her family greeted her with relief and joy. Eleanor shared her adventure with the villagers, and they marveled at the magic of the moonlit forest. From that night on, the villagers celebrated the full moon with a festival, honoring the moonstone and the bravery of those who sought its magic. Eleanor became known as a hero in her village, not just for finding the moonstone but for her selflessness and courage. The moonlit forest continued to appear under the full moon, a symbol of magic and wonder, and Eleanor's story was told for generations, inspiring others to be brave and kind-hearted. The end. Once upon a time, in a peaceful kingdom surrounded by dense forests and shimmering lakes, there was a magical glade known only to a few. This glade, called the Starlit Glade, was said to be a place of wonder where the stars came down to dance and grant wishes to those who truly believed in magic. In the heart of this kingdom lived a young girl named Lila. Lila was known for her kindness and curiosity. She often wandered through the forests, marveling at the beauty of nature and helping any creature in need. One evening, as she watched the stars twinkle in the night sky, she heard an old tale about the Starlit Glade from her grandmother. It was said that whoever found the glade and made a wish under the starlight could receive a special gift from the stars. Determined to discover the glade and its magic, Lila set out on a quest. Armed with a lantern and a small pouch of provisions, she ventured into the forest. The path was filled with thick foliage and winding trails, but Lila's heart was full of hope and excitement. As she walked, she noticed the forest growing quieter and the air growing cooler. The trees seemed to whisper secrets as the stars began to shine more brightly overhead. After several hours of wandering, Lila reached a clearing bathed in a soft, silvery light. It was the starlit glade. The glade was a breathtaking sight. A carpet of glowing flowers covered the ground, and the stars above seemed to descend to dance among the petals. At the center of the glade stood a majestic, ancient tree with branches that sparkled like the night sky. Lila approached the tree and saw a gentle, ethereal figure emerge from its trunk. It was a celestial being with a serene, radiant smile. "Welcome, Lila," the figure said. "I am Astria, the guardian of the starlit glade. To receive a gift from the stars, you must prove the purity of your heart through 3 acts of kindness." Lila agreed to the challenge, eager to show her sincerity. Astria explained the first act. In the nearby forest, there is a family of owls whose home has been damaged. Help them restore their nest. Lila followed Astria's guidance to a large oak tree where she found the owl family. The wind had scattered their nesting materials, and the young owlets were frightened. With care and patience, Lila gathered twigs, leaves, and soft moss to rebuild their nest. The owls hooted in gratitude, and the young ones nestled happily back into their restored home. The second act of kindness was the task of healing. Astria led Lila to a small, injured deer by a brook. Its leg was caught in a hunter's trap, and it was in pain. Lila gently freed the deer from the trap and used her knowledge of herbs to tend to its wounds. The deer, relieved and thankful, nuzzled Lila before bounding off into the forest. For the final act, Astria presented Lila with a riddle inscribed on a glowing stone, asterisk, "I have no voice, yet I speak. I have no legs, yet I run. I have no body, yet I am alive. What am I? Star." Lila thought deeply about the riddle and realized the answer. "Time," she said confidently. The stone glowed brightly, and Astria smiled. "You have completed the trials with grace and kindness," Astria said. "Now, you may make a wish." Lila looked around at the beauty of the glade and thought about her village, which was facing a difficult drought. She made her wish with all her heart. "I wish for rain to come to my village and help our land flourish." As soon as she finished her wish, the sky above the glade lit up with a cascade of shooting stars. The stars' light flowed down in a gentle, shimmering rain that traveled across the kingdom, reaching Lila's village. The land drank in the rain, and the fields began to bloom with lush greenery and vibrant flowers. When Lila returned to her village, she found that her wish had come true. The once dry fields were now alive with crops and blossoms, and the villagers rejoiced. They celebrated Lila's bravery and kindness, and the story of the Starlit Glade became a cherished legend in their community. The Starlit Glade continued to be a place of wonder, where the stars danced and magic was real, reminding everyone of the power of a pure heart and the beauty of helping others. And so, the kingdom thrived, its people and land flourishing under the gentle touch of the starlight, forever grateful for the magic of the glade and the heart of a young girl who believed in its wonders. The end. Once upon a time, in the beautiful kingdom of Luminera, there lived a wise and kind-hearted king named Eric and his equally beloved queen, Elara. They had a daughter named Amara, who was as brave as she was beautiful. Amara loved her people and spent her days learning about the kingdom and helping those in need. But despite her cheerful demeanor, there was always a sense of mystery about her. One fateful day, Queen Elara fell gravely ill. Despite the efforts of the kingdom's best healers, her condition continued to worsen. Desperate to save her mother, Princess Amara sought the counsel of the kingdom's oldest sage, an elderly woman named Matilda who lived in a secluded cottage deep within the Whispering Woods. Matilda listened intently to Amara's plight. "There is one thing that might save your mother," she said, her voice trembling with age. "The enchanted mirror of Seraphine. It possesses powerful magic that can heal even the gravest of illnesses. However, it is hidden in the Forbidden Fortress, guarded by fierce creatures and treacherous traps. Without hesitation, Amara decided to embark on the perilous journey to find the enchanted mirror. The next morning, with her father's reluctant blessing and a heart full of determination, she set off on her quest. She took with her a loyal companion, a talking owl named Oliver, who had been her friend since childhood. As they journeyed through the whispering woods, Amara and Oliver encountered numerous challenges. They crossed a river of swirling rapids on a rickety old bridge, narrowly avoiding being swept away. They navigated through a dense, enchanted forest where the trees seemed to move on their own, trying to lead them astray. After several days, they reached the outskirts of the Forbidden Fortress. The ancient, towering structure loomed ominously before them, surrounded by jagged rocks and a moat filled with dark, murky water. Amara took a deep breath and, with Oliver perched on her shoulder, began to search for a way inside. They found a hidden entrance, a narrow passageway concealed by thick vines. Inside the fortress, the air was damp and cold, and the only light came from the faint glow of torches mounted on the walls. Amara and Oliver moved cautiously, aware that the fortress was filled with hidden dangers. As they ventured deeper, they encountered the first guardian, a giant spider with eyes that glowed like embers. The spider blocked their path, its fangs dripping with venom. Summoning all her courage, Amara drew her sword, ready to defend herself. But Oliver, ever the clever owl, had a different idea. He flew to the spider and began to speak in its language, a series of clicks and hisses. The spider hesitated, then slowly retreated, allowing Amara and Oliver to pass. "How did you do that?" Amara asked, amazed. "I reminded her of the ancient pact between our ancestors," Oliver explained. "We owe each other a debt of peace." Continuing their journey, they faced numerous other trials, including a room filled with shifting floors and hidden spikes, and a corridor guarded by a fierce, fire-breathing dragon. With Oliver's wisdom and Amara's bravery, they overcame each challenge, growing more determined with every step. Finally, they reached the heart of the fortress, a grand chamber where the enchanted mirror of Seraphine was kept. The mirror was mounted on an ornate golden frame, its surface shimmering with a magical light. However, as they approached, the final guardian appeared, a spectral knight clad in armor that glowed with an eerie blue light. "You shall not take the mirror," the knight declared, his voice echoing through the chamber. Amara stepped forward, her heart pounding. "I seek the mirror to save my mother, the queen. Please, allow me to take it." The spectral knight paused, as if considering her words. "Only one who is truly selfless and pure of heart may wield the power of the enchanted mirror. Prove your worth, princess." Amara thought for a moment, then realized what she had to do. She knelt before the knight and placed her sword at his feet. "I am willing to give up everything, even my life, to save my mother and protect my kingdom. Please, grant me this chance." The knight's eyes softened, and he slowly nodded. "You have proven your worth, Princess Amara. The mirror is yours." With great reverence, Amara approached the enchanted mirror and carefully took it down from its place. The moment she touched it, she felt a warm, soothing energy flow through her. She thanked the spectral knight, who bowed in return and then vanished. With the enchanted mirror in hand, Amara and Oliver hurried back to Luminera. The journey back seemed shorter, as if the mirror's magic was guiding them home. When they arrived, they found Queen Alera's condition had worsened. Without wasting a moment, Amara held the mirror over her mother, and its magical light enveloped the queen. Slowly, Queen Alera opened her eyes, her strength returning. She smiled at her daughter, tears of gratitude in her eyes. "Thank you, Amara. You have saved me." The kingdom rejoiced at the queen's miraculous recovery. King Eric declared a week of celebration, and Amara's bravery and selflessness became the stuff of legends. The enchanted mirror was placed in a special chamber in the castle, its magic reserved for those in greatest need. And so, Princess Amara continued to rule with wisdom and compassion, her bond with her mother stronger than ever. With Oliver by her side, she knew that any challenge could be overcome with courage, kindness, and a little bit of magic. And they all lived happily ever after. And they all lived happily ever after. Once upon a time, in a quaint village nestled between rolling hills and sparkling rivers, there was a legend of a mystical songbird known as Seraphina. This songbird was said to have feathers that shimmered like the morning sun and a song that could heal hearts and grant wishes. For generations, the villagers had yearned to hear Seraphina's enchanting melody, but she was elusive and only appeared under the rarest of circumstances. One day, a fierce storm swept through the village, causing the river to flood and the crops to wither. The villagers were disheartened and felt that their only hope lay in finding the fabled Seraphina. They turned to a brave and kind-hearted girl named Lila. Known for her love of animals and her boundless curiosity, Lila accepted the challenge to find the enchanted songbird and bring her magic to the village. The first challenge, the Meadow of Mirrors. Lila's quest began in the Meadow of Mirrors, a vast expanse covered with flowers that reflected the sky like thousands of tiny mirrors. The meadow was guarded by a wise old tortoise with a shell that gleamed like polished amber. To proceed through the Meadow of Mirrors, the tortoise said in a slow, deliberate voice, "You must solve this riddle. The more you take, the more you leave behind." "What am I?" Lila thought deeply and answered, "Footsteps." The tortoise's eyes twinkled with approval, and it pointed to a shimmering path leading out of the meadow. "Follow this path to reach the next challenge," the tortoise advised. The second challenge, the Whispering Brook. Following the tortoise's directions, Lila arrived at the Whispering Brook, a gentle stream with water so clear that it seemed to hum with soft, melodious whispers. The brook was guarded by a playful otter who swam gracefully among the stones. To cross the Whispering Brook, the otter said with a cheerful tone, "You must answer this question. I have cities but no houses, mountains but no trees, and water but no fish. What am I?" Lila pondered the question and replied, "A map." The otter clapped its paws in delight and used its playful energy to create stepping stones made of shimmering moonlight across the brook. Lila carefully crossed the brook, feeling encouraged by her progress. The third challenge, the Cave of Echoes. On the other side of the brook, Lila found the Cave of Echoes, a grand cavern with walls that seemed to hum with distant, haunting melodies. At the entrance of the cave stood a large, ancient door adorned with stars and moons. A soothing voice echoed through the cavern, "To unlock this door and find Seraphina, you must reveal your true heart. Share your deepest wish and prove that you seek it with pure intentions." Lila took a deep breath and spoke from her heart, "My deepest wish is to find the enchanted songbird, Seraphina, and bring her magical song back to my village so that we can heal and prosper once more." The cavern's walls began to glow with a warm, golden light, and the ancient door slowly creaked open, revealing Seraphina perched on a sparkling crystal. Her feathers were a cascade of colors, and her eyes shone with a gentle, knowing light. The revelation, bringing joy to the village. With Seraphina in her care, Lila returned to her village. As Seraphina began to sing, her song wove through the air like a magical thread, touching the hearts of everyone who heard it. The melody had a soothing effect, and the once flooded river began to recede, the crops started to bloom, and the villagers felt a renewed sense of hope and joy. The village was transformed, and the people gathered to celebrate the miraculous return of their happiness. The village elder thanked Lila for her bravery and the enchanted songbird for her magical song. The tale of Lila's quest and Seraphina's enchanting melody became a cherished story in the village, reminding everyone of the power of courage, compassion, and the magic that exists in the world when hearts are pure. Under the gentle, healing song of Seraphina, the village thrived once more, forever grateful for the girl who had restored their joy and brought light back to their lives. The Whispering Brook. Once upon a time, in a peaceful valley surrounded by majestic mountains and lush forests, there was a magical brook known as the Whispering Brook. This brook was famous for its sparkling waters and the gentle whispers that could be heard if one listened closely. Legend had it that the brook could grant a single wish to someone with a true and selfless heart. In a small cottage near the edge of the forest lived a kind young woman named Clara. Clara was known throughout the valley for her generosity and her unwavering kindness. She would often help her neighbors with their chores, care for the sick, and share her meager meals with those in need. Despite her own modest means, Clara was beloved by all. One summer's day, Clara overheard a conversation among the village elders about the Whispering Brook and its magical properties. The village had been struggling with a severe drought, and crops were failing. Hearing about the brook's power, Clara decided that she wanted to find it and use its magic to save her village. The journey to the brook early the next morning, Clara set off towards the forest, guided by the tales she had heard. She carried a small knapsack with a loaf of bread, a flask of water, and a map she had drawn from old stories. The path to the Whispering Brook was said to be challenging, but Clara was determined to succeed. As Clara ventured deeper into the forest, she encountered a wise old turtle resting on a large rock. The turtle looked up at her and said, "To find the Whispering Brook, you must first answer my riddle. I have keys but open no locks, I have space but no room, you can enter but never go outside. What am I?" Clara thought carefully and answered, "A piano." The turtle nodded and slowly moved aside, revealing a hidden path that continued through the forest. The enchanted meadow following the path, Clara reached a vibrant meadow filled with colorful flowers and fluttering butterflies. In the middle of the meadow was a sparkling stream that seemed to hum with a soft melody. Clara noticed a graceful deer standing by the stream, drinking from the water. The deer spoke with a gentle voice, "To cross the stream and continue your journey, you must solve this riddle. The more you take, the more you leave behind." "What am I?" Clara considered the riddle and then said, "Footsteps." The deer smiled and stepped aside, revealing stepping stones across the stream. Clara carefully crossed the stream, her heart full of hope and determination. The Whispering Brook on the other side of the stream, Clara found herself in a serene glade with the Whispering Brook flowing gently through it. The brook was clear and shimmering under the sun, with its waters making a soothing, whispering sound. Clara approached the brook and listened closely, hoping to hear what it had to say. A soft, melodic voice from the brook spoke, "To receive the gift of the Whispering Brook, you must make a wish with a pure heart. What you wish for should be for the benefit of others." Clara closed her eyes and made her wish. "I wish for my village to have abundant water and thriving crops, so that everyone may have enough to eat and live in happiness." As Clara spoke, the brook's waters glowed with a soft, golden light. The light began to spread outwards, flowing through the forest and into the valley where Clara's village was situated. Clara felt a warm, comforting breeze as the magic of the brook began to work. The return home. When Clara returned to her village, she was met with a heartwarming sight. The once dry fields were now lush and green, the river was flowing abundantly, and the villagers were joyfully celebrating. The crops were flourishing, and there was plenty of food for everyone. The village was transformed, and the people were grateful for Clara's bravery and kindness. They celebrated her with a grand feast and honored her with the title of the village's beloved guardian. Clara's wish had brought prosperity and joy to her home, and the Whispering Brook's magic had made a difference in the lives of many. The tale of Clara and the Whispering Brook became a cherished story in the village, a reminder of the power of selflessness and the magic that comes from a heart full of love. And so, Clara's village thrived under the gentle magic of the Whispering Brook, forever blessed by the kind and courageous heart of one remarkable young woman. Once upon a time, in a picturesque village nestled between rolling green hills and the sparkling river, there was a young girl named Arya. Arya lived with her father, a humble woodworker, in a cozy cottage at the edge of the village. Though they were not wealthy, their lives were filled with love and music, as Arya had inherited her late mother's talent for playing the violin. Arya's violin was special. It had been crafted by her mother and was said to have an enchantment that could move hearts and even change the world. The village of Harmonyville was named after its love for music, and every evening, Arya would play her violin in the village square, bringing joy and peace to everyone who heard her. One evening, as Arya played a particularly beautiful melody, a mysterious old man with a long, flowing beard and kind eyes approached her. He listened intently until she finished and then introduced himself as Maestro, the guardian of musical magic. "Arya," Maestro said in a voice as smooth as velvet, "your music holds great power, but the enchantment within your violin has faded over time. To restore its full magic, you must embark on a journey to the enchanted grove and find the melody of the stars. Only then will your music reach its true potential." Determined to restore the magic of her violin, Arya set out on her journey the next morning. Maestro gave her a map that would guide her through the whispering forest to the enchanted grove. With a heart full of hope and a satchel packed with essentials, Arya ventured into the forest. As she walked along the winding paths, Arya encountered a talking bluebird named Lyric, who offered to guide her through the densest part of the forest. Lyric's cheerful songs kept Arya's spirits high as they made their way to the first challenge, a riddle posed by an ancient oak tree named Elderwood. To continue your journey, Elderwood said in a deep, resonant voice, "You must solve my riddle. I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. I have no body, but I come alive with the wind. What am I?" Arya thought carefully and then replied, "An echo." Elderwood's branches rustled in approval, and he revealed a hidden path that led to a shimmering lake where a graceful swan named Serenade awaited her. To cross this lake, Serenade said, "You must prove your courage. Beneath the water lies a sunken treasure chest containing a golden key. Dive deep and retrieve the key, and I will ferry you across." Without hesitation, Arya dove into the clear, cool water. She swam down to the lake bed, where she found the treasure chest. Opening it, she retrieved the golden key and swam back to the surface. Serenade, impressed by her bravery, transformed into a beautiful boat and ferried Arya across the lake. On the other side of the lake, Arya entered the enchanted grove, where the air was filled with the soft hum of magical melodies. In the center of the grove stood a pedestal with a celestial lyre, its strings glowing with the light of 1,000 stars. This was the melody of the stars that Maestro had spoken of. As Arya approached the lyre, a gentle voice filled the grove. "To restore your violin's magic, you must play a melody that comes from the depths of your heart. Only true emotion can awaken the lyre's power." Arya took her violin and began to play a tune that spoke of her love for her father, her late mother, and the joy that music brought to her village. As she played, the strings of the celestial lyre resonated with her violin, creating a harmony so beautiful that it brought tears to her eyes. A brilliant light enveloped the grove, and Arya felt the magic of the melody of the stars flow into her violin. When the light faded, she knew that her violin's enchantment had been restored. With her heart full of gratitude, Arya returned to Harmonyville. That evening, she played her violin in the village square, and the music was more enchanting than ever before. The villagers felt a profound sense of peace and happiness, and even the stars seemed to twinkle in time with her melody. Maestro appeared once more, smiling warmly. "You have done well, Arya. Your music now holds the magic to bring joy and healing to all who hear it. Remember, the true magic lies within your heart." From that day on, Arya's music became legendary, and Harmonyville flourished under the spell of her enchanting melodies. Her story was passed down through generations, a testament to the power of music and the magic that can be found in a kind and courageous heart. And so, Arya and her enchanted violin continued to bring harmony to the world, their music a beacon of hope and joy for all who listened. Once upon a time, in the kingdom of Aurora, where the sky sparkled with stars and the moonlight danced across the land, there was a magical meadow known as the Moonlit Glade. The glade was famed for its enchanting melodies that could only be heard under the full moon, and it was said that these melodies held the power to fulfill one heart's deepest wish. In a small village on the edge of the glade lived a young girl named Arya. Arya was known for her beautiful singing voice, which could bring comfort to anyone who heard it. Despite her talent, Arya's life was filled with challenges. Her family was struggling to make ends meet, and her beloved younger brother, Leo, was sick with a mysterious illness that no healer could cure. One evening, as the full moon began to rise, Arya heard the call of the Moonlit Glade's melody. It was said that those with a true and selfless heart could discover the secret of the glade and use its magic to help others. Driven by love for her brother and hope for her family, Arya decided to venture into the glade to seek the melody's magic. With determination in her heart and a small lantern to light her way, Arya made her way to the edge of the glade as the moonlight bathed the meadow in a silvery glow. The air was filled with a soft, melodic hum that seemed to guide her steps. As she entered the glade, the melodies grew louder and more enchanting. In the center of the glade stood an ancient, majestic oak tree with branches that sparkled like stars. Hanging from the branches were luminous, silver musical notes that shimmered in the moonlight. Arya approached the tree, and as she did, the melody seemed to form words. Only those who seek with a pure heart shall find the true melody, the tree whispered in a voice that was both gentle and wise. To uncover the magic, you must sing from your soul and reveal your deepest wish. Arya took a deep breath and began to sing. She poured all her love and hope into her song, her voice weaving through the moonlit air. The melody she sang was one of love, longing, and a deep desire to heal her brother. The glade responded, its music harmonizing with her song, creating a magical symphony that filled the night. As Arya sang, the tree's branches began to glow brighter, and a soft, radiant light enveloped the glade. The light converged at the base of the oak tree, forming a beautiful, glowing orb. The orb floated gently towards Arya, its light casting a warm and soothing glow. This is the moonlit melody, the tree's voice resonated. It holds the power to grant a single wish. Use it with love and selflessness. Arya took the orb with trembling hands, her heart filled with hope and gratitude. She made her way back to her village, her lantern guiding her through the night. When she arrived home, she placed the orb beside Leo's bed and whispered her wish, "Please, heal my brother and bring happiness to my family." The orb's light enveloped Leo, and within moments, his pale face began to regain its color. His breathing steadied, and he opened his eyes, smiling weakly at his sister. The illness that had plagued him vanished, leaving him healthy and full of life once more. The news of Leo's recovery spread quickly through the village, and the entire community rejoiced. Arya's family was overjoyed, and the village came together to celebrate the miracle that had touched their lives. Arya's selflessness and love had brought about a true blessing. As the moonlight continued to shine over Leora, the moonlit glade remained a place of magic and wonder. The melodies of the glade were known to inspire hope and joy, and Arya's story became a cherished tale of the power of a pure heart and the magic of the moonlit melodies. And so, Arya lived happily with her family, her voice continuing to bring comfort and joy to those around her. The moonlit glade continued to be a place where dreams were whispered under the stars, and the magic of the moonlight was celebrated with every melody. The end. Once upon a time, in a tranquil village named Eldergrove, there was a well known for its mystical whispers. The well, tucked away in the heart of an ancient forest, was said to hold the wisdom of the ages. It whispered secrets to those who approached it with a pure heart and a kind spirit. The villagers believed that listening to the whispers could guide them through their greatest challenges. The village was home to a kind-hearted young woman named Iris. Iris loved her village deeply and was known for her generous spirit. Despite her humble means, she always found ways to help those in need, whether it was nursing sick animals back to health or aiding her neighbors with their daily tasks. One spring, a severe drought struck Eldergrove. The once vibrant fields became parched, and the riverbeds ran dry. The villagers were troubled, for their crops were failing, and their wells were running low. The only hope was the Whispering Well, which had not been visited in many years. The village elder, Old Merle, suggested that Iris seek the well's guidance. With a heavy heart, Iris agreed. She ventured into the forest, following the winding path to the Whispering Well. As she walked, the forest seemed unusually silent, and the air grew cooler. Eventually, she reached the well, its stones covered in moss and its rim lined with wildflowers. Iris approached the well and leaned over, peering into its depths. Great Whispering Well, she called softly, our village is suffering from a terrible drought. We need your wisdom to save our crops and our home. For a moment, there was silence. Then, a gentle, soothing voice emerged from the well. To save your village, you must find the hidden spring that feeds this well. It lies beneath the ancient oak tree in the heart of the forest. The path will be revealed to you if your heart is true. Iris thanked the well and set off towards the ancient oak tree. The journey was arduous, as the forest seemed to shift and change with every step she took. After hours of walking, she finally reached the grand oak, its branches spreading wide like welcoming arms. At the base of the oak, Iris noticed a large, smooth stone covered in intricate carvings. She touched the stone, and it began to glow with a soft, golden light. The carving shifted, revealing a hidden passage beneath the oak's roots. Iris descended into the passage, which led to a subterranean cavern. In the center of the cavern was a small spring, its water shimmering with a magical light. She knew this must be the spring that fed the Whispering Well. As Iris knelt by the spring, she saw that it was choked with debris and overgrown roots. With gentle hands and a kind heart, she began to clear the debris, her movements careful and deliberate. As she worked, she spoke softly to the spring, promising to care for it and protect it as she would her own home. As the last of the debris was removed, the spring began to flow more freely, its waters sparkling with renewed energy. Iris watched in awe as the water swirled and surged, filling the cavern with a soft, melodic sound. With the spring revitalized, Iris made her way back to Eldergrove. She arrived just in time to see the first drops of rain fall from the sky, followed by a steady downpour. The rain nourished the parched fields and filled the riverbeds, bringing life back to the village. The villagers celebrated with joy and gratitude. They honored Iris for her bravery and selflessness, recognizing that her pure heart and determination had saved their home. The Whispering Well, now revitalized by the spring's renewed flow, continued to offer its wisdom to those who sought it. Iris became a beloved figure in Eldergrove, and her story was told for generations as a reminder of the power of kindness and the importance of listening to the whispers of one's heart. And so, Eldergrove flourished once more, its fields green and fertile, its people content and hopeful. The village thrived under the watchful gaze of the Whispering Well and the gentle guidance of a young woman who had listened and acted with love. Once upon a time, in the charming village of Evergreen, nestled at the edge of a vast, whispering forest, there lived a young girl named Clara. Clara was known throughout the village for her bright spirit and her love for the night sky. She often spent her evenings gazing up at the stars, dreaming of far-off lands and adventures. One crisp autumn evening, as Clara was exploring the attic of her grandmother's old house, she discovered an antique lantern covered in dust. It was a beautiful lantern, adorned with intricate carvings of stars and moons, and it had a small, glowing crystal at its center. Curious, Clara decided to clean it up and see if it still worked. As soon as Clara polished the lantern, the crystal began to glow with a soft, golden light. The lantern flickered to life, casting a warm, inviting glow throughout the attic. Clara was amazed and decided to take the lantern outside to see what it might reveal. That night, the moon was full and bright, casting its silvery light over the village. Clara carried the lantern into the forest, following a path she had never taken before. As she walked deeper into the woods, the lantern's glow grew brighter, illuminating a trail of shimmering lights that seemed to guide her way. Following the magical lights, Clara arrived at a hidden glen surrounded by towering trees and bathed in moonlight. In the center of the glen was a small, enchanted pond with water as clear as crystal. At the edge of the pond was a tiny, ancient stone archway that seemed to sparkle with a magical aura. The lantern's light grew even more brilliant as Clara approached the archway. As she stepped through it, she found herself in a mystical realm, unlike anything she had ever seen. The sky was a swirl of deep blues and purples, and the land was filled with glowing flowers and sparkling trees. At the center of this magical realm was a grand castle made entirely of shimmering moonstone. In the castle's courtyard, Clara saw a regal figure, a kind-faced fairy queen with wings that glittered like stardust. The fairy queen welcomed Clara with a warm smile and explained that the lantern she had discovered was a magical artifact known as the Star Lantern. It was said to hold the power to reveal hidden places and guide those who sought to restore balance to the magical realm. The fairy queen explained that the realm had been cast into darkness by a powerful spell, and the only way to lift the spell was to find and return the missing moonstone, a gem of great power that had been stolen by a rogue sorcerer. The sorcerer had hidden the moonstone in a maze of illusions, and no one had been able to retrieve it. Determined to help, Clara accepted the challenge and set out to find the moonstone. Guided by the Star Lantern's light, she ventured into the maze. The maze was filled with confusing paths, magical traps, and illusions that tested her courage and wit. As Clara navigated the maze, she encountered various creatures who needed her help. She freed a trapped fire sprite, mended a broken wing of a fairy, and solved riddles that revealed hidden pathways. Each act of kindness and bravery brought her closer to the heart of the maze. Finally, Clara reached the center of the maze, where the rogue sorcerer was guarding the moonstone. The sorcerer was surprised to see a young girl with such determination and courage. Clara bravely faced the sorcerer and spoke from her heart, explaining how the realm's darkness had affected everyone and how she wanted to help restore the light. The sorcerer, moved by Clara's sincerity, realized the error of his ways and willingly returned the moonstone. With the moonstone in hand, Clara made her way back to the Fairy Queen's castle. As Clara placed the moonstone in its rightful place, the magical realm was bathed in a brilliant, rejuvenating light. The darkness lifted, and the land was once again filled with vibrant colors and enchanting beauty. The Fairy Queen and the magical inhabitants celebrated Clara's bravery and kindness with a grand feast and a magnificent display of fireworks that lit up the sky. As a token of their gratitude, the Fairy Queen gifted Clara a small, enchanted veil filled with moonlight, which would allow her to visit the magical realm whenever she wished. With her heart full of joy and her spirit enriched by her adventure, Clara returned to her village. The star lantern remained a cherished memento of her journey, and she often shared her story with the villagers, reminding them of the magic that lies in kindness and bravery. And so, Clara's adventure became a beloved tale in Evergreen, and the magical realm continued to shine brightly, a testament to the power of a brave heart and the light of a true hero. Once upon a time, in the heart of a mystical forest, there was a village called Elderglen. The village was known for its enchanting lanterns that glowed with a warm, golden light. Each lantern had its own unique magic, bringing warmth and cheer to the villagers even on the coldest nights. In this village lived a kind-hearted girl named Leora. She had a special lantern that had been passed down through generations in her family. This lantern was unlike any other. It was said to hold the light of 1,000 sunsets and to possess the power to reveal hidden truths. One crisp autumn evening, as the leaves turned shades of red and gold, a dense fog rolled into Elderglen. The fog was so thick that it seemed to swallow the village in its embrace, leaving the villagers disoriented and frightened. No matter how hard they tried, they couldn't find their way through the fog. Leora, who was known for her bravery, decided to use her lantern to help the villagers. She took her lantern and stepped outside, where the fog seemed to grow even denser. She held up the lantern high, hoping its light would cut through the murkiness. To her surprise, the lantern's glow began to shimmer and dance, casting magical patterns in the fog. The golden light seemed to draw the fog away, revealing a shimmering path leading deeper into the forest. Leora followed the path with her lantern, determined to uncover the source of the fog and find a way to clear it. As she ventured further into the forest, the trees whispered secrets, and the air grew cooler. The path led her to a hidden glade where a majestic, ancient tree stood at its center. The tree was adorned with glowing crystals that pulsed with a soft, ethereal light. Beneath the tree, Leora discovered a small, silver box. The box was engraved with intricate symbols and appeared to be locked. With a sense of urgency, Leora placed her lantern next to the box. The lantern's light seemed to interact with the symbols on the box, causing them to glow. Suddenly, the box opened with a gentle click, revealing a delicate, golden key inside. The key was intricately designed, with a heart-shaped handle and a shimmering blade. Leora took the key and looked around, sensing that it was meant for something important. Following her intuition, Leora noticed a faint glow emanating from a hidden alcove in the tree. She approached and found a small door nestled within the tree trunk. With a deep breath, she used the golden key to unlock the door. As it swung open, a burst of bright light filled the glade. The light revealed a magnificent fairy queen with wings that sparkled like the night sky. She hovered gracefully before Leora and spoke in a voice as soft as a summer breeze. "Thank you, brave Leora, for finding the key and unlocking the magic of the ancient tree." The fog that enveloped Elderglen was a spell cast by a forgotten enchantress, who wished to test the hearts of those who would seek to help others. The Fairy Queen explained that the enchantress had once been a guardian of the forest but had been forgotten over time. Her spell was intended to find someone with a pure heart who could restore balance to the forest and the village. Leora listened with awe as the Fairy Queen continued. "You have proven your bravery and kindness, Leora. By unlocking the tree and restoring the magic, you have broken the Enchantress's spell. The fog will lift from Elderglen, and the village will be safe once more." With a wave of her hand, the Fairy Queen conjured a magical breeze that swept through the forest. The fog began to dissolve, revealing the village in all its glory. The lanterns of Elderglen glowed even brighter, reflecting the joy and relief of the villagers. Leora returned to the village with her lantern, greeted by cheers and gratitude from her fellow villagers. They celebrated her bravery and the magical lantern that had guided her through the fog. The Fairy Queen appeared one last time to thank Leora personally. "Your lantern will always hold a special place in the heart of the forest. Its light will continue to guide and protect those who seek to bring kindness and help to others." From that day on, Leora's lantern became a symbol of hope and courage in Elderglen. The village thrived, and the lanterns continued to shine brightly, reminding everyone of the magic that lies in a heart willing to help and the importance of bravery in the face of challenges. In a land where the golden sun kissed the rolling hills and the emerald forests, there was a small village named Everwood. The village was known for its tranquil beauty and the magical grove that lay just beyond its borders. The grove was said to be enchanted, filled with ancient trees that whispered secrets of the past and a hidden glen where a mysterious melody could be heard on the wind. Every year, the villagers celebrated the Festival of Lights, a joyous event that honored the grove and its magic. However, one year, as the festival approached, an unsettling silence fell over Everwood. The grove's melody had vanished, and with it, the villagers' joy seemed to dim. Among the villagers was a young girl named Elara. Curious and brave, Elara had always been fascinated by the grove's legend. With her heart set on restoring the grove's magic, she decided to venture into the grove to uncover the source of the silence. One misty morning, Elara set out with a small satchel, a lantern, and a locket her grandmother had given her. The locket was rumored to hold a secret, but its purpose had long been forgotten. She walked through the village, past the cobblestone paths, and reached the edge of the enchanted grove. The grove's entrance was marked by two ancient oak trees whose branches intertwined like a protective embrace. As Elara stepped into the grove, the air seemed to shimmer with a faint glow. The trees, usually so full of life, now stood still as statues, their leaves motionless. Elara followed a winding path deeper into the grove. She could feel the weight of the silence pressing upon her. After some time, she reached the hidden glen where the melody was once heard. There, in the center of the glen, was an old stone fountain covered in moss. At its base was an inscription in an ancient language. Elara took out her grandmother's locket and noticed that it had a tiny keyhole. To her surprise, the inscription on the fountain matched the locket's design. With trembling hands, she inserted the locket into the keyhole. There was a soft click, and the fountain began to glow with a warm, golden light. Suddenly, the grove came to life. The tree's branches swayed, and the leaves rustled with a soft, melodic tune. The air filled with the beautiful music that had been missing for so long. Elara looked around in awe as the grove's enchantment was restored. As the melody reached its crescendo, a figure emerged from the light. It was a spirit of the grove, an ethereal being with wings of shimmering leaves. The spirit smiled at Elara, who felt a surge of warmth and relief. "You have restored the magic of the grove," the spirit said with a voice like a gentle breeze. "Long ago, the song was hidden away to protect it from those who would misuse it. But your pure heart and bravery have brought it back." Elara, humbled and grateful, asked, "Why was the song hidden?" The spirit explained, "The song holds the essence of the grove's magic, a power that can bring harmony and joy. But when darkness threatened the land, it was hidden to keep it safe. It was only through someone with a true spirit of kindness that the song could be awakened." With a soft gesture, the spirit gifted Elara a small vial of the golden light. "This is a piece of the grove's magic. Use it wisely, and remember that the true power of magic lies in the heart." Elara thanked the spirit and made her way back to the village, where the festival preparations were in full swing. She carried the vial with care, knowing that its magic was a reminder of the grove's return. The Festival of Lights that year was the most spectacular Everwood had ever seen. The grove's melody filled the air, and the villagers danced with joy, their hearts uplifted by the enchanted music. Ilara's bravery and kindness were celebrated, and the grove's magic became a cherished part of their lives once more. And so, the enchanted grove continued to thrive, its melody a symbol of hope and harmony. Ilara's story was told for generations, reminding everyone that even in times of silence, the magic of the heart could restore the world's wonder. Once upon a time, in a kingdom where the mountains brushed against the sky and the forests whispered ancient secrets, there was a hidden glade known only to a few. This glade housed a pond of extraordinary beauty, shimmering under the moonlight like liquid silver. It was said that the pond had magical properties and could grant a single wish to anyone pure of heart who visited it under the full moon. In the nearby village of Meadowbrook lived a young girl named Mira. Mira was known for her kindness and bravery, qualities that shone through in everything she did. She lived with her grandmother, who had raised her with tales of the moonlit pond. As the full moon approached, Mira decided to seek out the pond and make a wish, to bring happiness to her village, which had fallen on hard times due to a long drought. One night, under the glow of the full moon, Mira set out on her quest. She followed a winding path through the forest, guided by the light of the moon and the twinkling stars. After hours of walking, she finally arrived at the moonlit pond. Its waters gleamed like a mirror, reflecting the silvery light of the moon. Mira took a deep breath and knelt by the edge of the pond. She closed her eyes and made her wish, "I wish for rain to fall on Meadowbrook, so that our fields may be green and our village may prosper." As soon as she spoke, the waters of the pond began to shimmer more brightly, and a soft voice spoke from within the ripples. "Your wish is noble, and your heart is pure. But to grant this wish, you must prove your courage." Mira opened her eyes to see a gentle figure rising from the pond, a guardian spirit with shimmering wings and a gown of moonlight. The guardian's eyes sparkled like stars, and her voice was as soothing as a lullaby. "Prove your courage?" Mira asked, her heart racing with both excitement and fear. "Yes," the guardian replied. "Beyond this pond lies a dark forest. Within it is a crystal that holds the power to summon the rain. You must retrieve this crystal and bring it back to the pond." Mira nodded, determined to help her village. She took a lantern and ventured into the dark forest, where shadows danced and eerie noises filled the air. The forest seemed to close in around her, but Mira pressed on, guided by the faint glow of her lantern. After what felt like hours, Mira found herself at the heart of the forest, where a towering tree stood. Its branches twisted into strange shapes, and at its base was a small, hidden door. She pushed the door open and stepped into a cavernous space filled with the soft, golden light of the crystal. The crystal was perched on a pedestal in the center of the cavern, glowing with a warmth that made Mira's heart swell with hope. But just as she reached for it, a dark figure emerged from the shadows, a creature with glowing red eyes and sharp claws. It was a forest guardian, tasked with protecting the crystal. Mira took a deep breath, her bravery overcoming her fear. She spoke softly but firmly, "I come not to take, but to return with what I need to save my village." The forest guardian hesitated, and Mira continued, "My village is in desperate need of rain. I ask not for myself but for them." The guardian's eyes softened as it listened. With a low growl, it stepped aside, allowing Mira to take the crystal. She thanked the guardian and hurried back to the moonlit pond. As she returned to the pond, the guardian spirit appeared again, her face radiant with approval. Mira placed the crystal on the surface of the water. Instantly, the pond began to bubble, and a gentle rain began to fall, spreading across the sky and soaking the dry earth of Meadowbrook. Mira returned home to find her village transformed. The fields were green, the wells were full, and the people were joyous. Mira's heart swelled with pride and happiness. She knew her village would thrive once more, and it was all thanks to the magic of the moonlit pond and her own bravery. And so, under the soft glow of the moon, Myra's wish had come true. The village of Meadowbrook flourished, and Myra became a legend, known for her courage and kindness. The moonlit pond continued to shimmer under the night sky, a beacon of hope and magic for all who believed in its wonders. Once upon a time, in a land where mountains brushed the clouds and meadows danced with wildflowers, there lay a hidden kingdom called Verdant Valley. This kingdom was known for its lush landscapes and the most enchanting creatures. Among them was a mythical bird, the silver lark, whose song was said to bring joy and peace wherever it was heard. Legend had it that the silver lark lived in the heart of the enchanted forest, a place so magical that only those with pure intentions could find their way through its labyrinthine paths. The kingdom had long yearned to see the silver lark, not just for its beauty but for the peace it was rumored to bring. One day, a kind-hearted young girl named Arya, known for her gentle spirit and adventurous heart, decided she would set out on a quest to find the silver lark. Her village had been plagued by a long, harsh winter, and the people needed hope and cheer. Arya prepared for her journey with a small satchel of provisions and a compass that had belonged to her grandmother. She set out at dawn, her heart full of hope and determination. The path to the enchanted forest was not easy. As Arya ventured deeper, she encountered talking animals, playful sprites, and shimmering butterflies that seemed to dance around her. Each creature she met gave her a piece of advice or a small token of luck to help her on her journey. She first met an old wise turtle named Oliver. Oliver advised her, "In the heart of the enchanted forest, there are 3 challenges you must face. Each will test your heart and spirit. Only those who are truly pure of heart can reach the silver lark." The first challenge was the River of Reflections, a river with crystal-clear waters that mirrored not just the physical appearance but also the innermost thoughts and feelings. As Arya approached the river, she saw not just her reflection but also the worries and hopes she had. The river whispered, "To cross, you must let go of your doubts and fears." Arya took a deep breath and closed her eyes, focusing on the love she felt for her village and her desire to bring them joy. When she opened her eyes, the water shimmered and parted, creating a path for her to cross. Next, she came to the Field of Echoes, a vast meadow where every sound was repeated, and one's intentions were revealed. To move forward, Arya had to speak her true purpose. She called out, "I seek the silver lark to bring hope and cheer to my village." The echoes that returned were filled with warmth and encouragement, guiding her through the field. Finally, Arya arrived at the Grove of Shadows, where dark, twisted trees loomed. This challenge required her to face her own fears and doubts. The shadows whispered menacingly, but Arya remembered the tokens of luck she had received from the creatures of the forest. She held them tightly and walked through the shadows, allowing the light from within her to dispel the darkness. At last, Arya reached the heart of the enchanted forest, where a magnificent silver tree stood. Perched gracefully on one of its branches was the silver lark, its feathers gleaming with a magical light. The bird's song was a melody of such beauty that it made Arya's heart swell with joy. The silver lark fluttered down and perched on Arya's shoulder. It sang a soft, soothing tune that seemed to wrap Arya in a warm embrace. The bird then spoke in a gentle voice, "You have shown courage, kindness, and purity of heart. I will grant you a song of peace and happiness for your village." Arya thanked the silver lark and made her way back to Verdant Valley, carrying the bird's melody in her heart. When she returned, she shared the song with her village, and the moment its notes filled the air, the harsh winter began to melt away. The snow receded, and flowers began to bloom once more. The village rejoiced, and Arya was hailed as a heroine. The silver lark, having fulfilled its promise, flew back to the enchanted forest, leaving behind a small, silver feather as a token of its magic. From that day on, Verdant Valley was blessed with peace and happiness, and the tale of Arya's quest was told for generations as a reminder of the power of a pure heart and the magic that lies within. And so, Arya and her village lived joyfully ever after, always cherishing the melody of the silver lark and the lessons learned from their enchanting journey. Once upon a time, in a quaint village nestled between rolling hills and a shimmering river, there lived a young boy named Finn. Finn was known for his adventurous spirit and his fascination with the mysteries of the world. He spent his days exploring the nearby woods, climbing trees, and dreaming of far-off lands. One day, while rummaging through the attic of his family's old cottage, Finn stumbled upon a dusty wooden box. Inside the box was an ornate compass with a gleaming, jewel-encrusted face. The compass was unlike anything Finn had ever seen, with intricate designs etched into its brass casing. At the center of the compass, where the needle usually pointed north, was a small, glowing emerald. Finn was captivated by the compass and decided to take it with him on his next adventure. He slipped it into his pocket and set off into the woods, eager to discover what secrets the compass might hold. As Finn wandered deeper into the forest, he noticed something extraordinary. The compass needle, instead of pointing north, began to sway and glow softly, guiding him toward a hidden path he had never noticed before. With excitement bubbling in his chest, Finn followed the compass's guidance. The path led Finn to a hidden glen, bathed in golden sunlight. At the center of the glen was a magnificent tree with silver leaves that shimmered like stars. Beneath the tree, a small, ancient stone archway stood, covered in moss and vines. The archway seemed to beckon Finn closer. Curious, Finn approached the archway and noticed that the compass needle was now spinning wildly. As he stepped through the archway, he was greeted by a breathtaking sight. He had entered a magical realm, where the sky was a brilliant shade of twilight purple, and the air was filled with the sweet scent of blooming flowers. In the heart of this enchanted realm was a grand castle made of sparkling crystal. The castle's towers reached toward the heavens, and its walls shimmered with every color of the rainbow. As Finn marveled at the castle, he noticed a figure approaching him, a kind-faced, elderly woman dressed in robes of deep blue and silver. The woman introduced herself as Queen Alara of the Enchanted Realm. She explained that the compass Finn had found was a magical artifact that could lead its bearer to the hidden realm when they were in need of great adventure or help. The realm was a place of wonder, but it was also in need of assistance. The kingdom's magic had begun to fade, and only a heart full of courage and kindness could restore it. Queen Alara revealed that the source of the kingdom's magic was the Heartstone, a powerful gem hidden within the castle. However, the Heartstone had been taken by a mischievous sprite named Puck, who had hidden it away in a maze of illusions and traps. Without the Heartstone, the kingdom's magic would continue to wane. Determined to help, Finn agreed to embark on the quest to retrieve the Heartstone. Queen Alara handed him a small, silver key and wished him luck. The key, she explained, would help him navigate the maze. Finn made his way to the entrance of the maze, where the key glowed brightly in his hand. As he ventured through the labyrinth, he encountered various challenges, bewildering illusions, hidden traps, and magical puzzles. Each challenge required him to use his wits, bravery, and kindness. At one point, Finn came across a small, trapped creature, a golden firefly caught in a web of enchanted vines. Remembering Queen Alara's advice about kindness, Finn carefully freed the firefly. In gratitude, the firefly revealed the way forward, guiding him through a particularly tricky section of the maze. After many trials, Finn finally reached the center of the maze, where Puck was playfully hiding the Heartstone. The sprite, seeing the determination and bravery in Finn's eyes, decided to test him one last time. Puck asked Finn a riddle: "What is the greatest treasure, yet the most humble, that you can give without losing anything?" Finn thought carefully and then answered, "The greatest treasure is love. It is given freely, and it enriches both the giver and the receiver." Puck was touched by Finn's answer and, with a mischievous grin, handed over the Heartstone. Finn thanked Puck and made his way back to the castle. With the Heartstone restored to its rightful place, the enchanted realm's magic was rejuvenated. The skies grew even more brilliant, and the flowers bloomed with renewed vigor. Queen Alara and the magical inhabitants of the realm celebrated Finn's bravery and kindness. As a token of their gratitude, Queen Alara gifted Finn a small, enchanted crystal that would allow him to visit the enchanted realm whenever he wished. Finn returned to his village, where he shared his incredible adventure with everyone, and the enchanted compass remained a cherished memento of his journey. And so, Finn's heart and the magical realm were forever intertwined, reminding him that courage, kindness, and love were the true keys to unlocking the wonders of the world. Once upon a time, in the kingdom of Astraloria, where the night sky was always filled with glittering stars, there was a beloved princess named Lila. Princess Lila was known for her kindness and curiosity. Every evening, she would gaze out of her tower window, marveling at the endless constellations and dreaming of adventures in the starry sky. One fateful night, as Princess Lila watched the stars twinkle brightly, a strange and dark shadow crossed the sky. The stars began to flicker and dim, and before long, the entire kingdom was shrouded in darkness. The people of Astraloria were filled with despair as their beloved night sky lost its magic. Queen Alara, Lila's wise mother, was deeply concerned. She summoned the kingdom's most learned scholars and magical experts, but none could explain the sudden loss of stars or how to restore them. Princess Lila, determined to bring back the light, decided to take matters into her own hands. She set off on a quest to uncover the mystery behind the vanishing stars. Accompanied by her loyal talking cat, Luna, who had a knack for solving riddles, Lila embarked on a journey to the farthest reaches of the kingdom. The Enchanted Forest. Their first stop was the Enchanted Forest, known for its ancient trees and magical creatures. Here, they hoped to find clues about the stolen stars. Deep within the forest, they encountered a wise old owl named Orin, who was known to possess ancient knowledge. Orin, perched high in a great oak tree, listened intently as Lila explained their plight. He ruffled his feathers and said, "To find the stars, you must seek the Oracle of the Moon. She resides in the hidden glade, a place that appears only when the moon is full and bright." With Orin's guidance, Lila and Luna followed the path to the hidden glade, which revealed itself under the light of the full moon. The glade was a serene, moonlit meadow filled with shimmering flowers and a crystal-clear pond. The Oracle of the Moon. In the center of the glade stood the Oracle of the Moon, an elegant figure with a gown that seemed to be woven from moonlight. She greeted Lila and Luna warmly. "Welcome, brave ones," the Oracle said in a soothing voice. "I know why you've come. The stars have been stolen by a sorcerer named Malakar, who seeks to harness their power for his own dark purposes. He hides in the Shadow Realm, a place that can only be reached through the Mirror of Twilight." The Oracle then gifted Lila with a moonstone pendant and a map to find the Mirror of Twilight. "This pendant will guide you," she said. "And remember, only those who approach the mirror with pure intentions can pass through." The Shadow Realm. Following the map, Lila and Luna journeyed to the Shadow Realm, a dark and eerie place where the shadows seemed to have a life of their own. They found the Mirror of Twilight, a magnificent, ornate mirror with a surface that rippled like liquid silver. As Lila approached the mirror, the moonstone pendant began to glow warmly, revealing a hidden doorway. Beyond the doorway was a dark castle where Malakar resided. Inside the castle, they found Malakar in a grand hall, surrounded by the captured stars, which were imprisoned in enchanted glass spheres. Malakar, surprised by their arrival, sneered, "You dare challenge me? These stars are mine to command." The confrontation. Lila, undeterred, stepped forward and said, "We won't let you use the stars for your own gain. They belong to the sky and to the people of Astraloria." A fierce battle ensued. Luna used her agility and cunning to outmaneuver Malakar, while Lila, holding the moonstone pendant, channeled its magic to weaken the sorcerer. Just as Malakar seemed to gain the upper hand, the pendant's light intensified, and the stars began to shine through the enchanted spheres. Realizing he was losing his power, Malakar tried to flee, but Lila and Luna were quick to stop him. With a final burst of light from the moonstone pendant, the enchanted spheres shattered, releasing the stars back into the night sky. Returned to Astraloria with the stars restored to their rightful place, the night sky of Astraloria sparkled more brilliantly than ever. Lila and Luna returned to the kingdom, where they were greeted with joy and celebration. The people of Astraloria rejoiced at the return of their beloved stars, and Queen Alara honored Lila and Luna for their bravery and determination. As a reward, the Oracle of the Moon bestowed upon Lila a special gift, a star-shaped locket that would always keep the light of the stars close to her heart. The locket would also serve as a reminder that even in the darkest times, there is always hope and light to be found. Princess Lila continued to watch the stars from her tower, grateful for the adventure that taught her the importance of courage, friendship, and the beauty of the night sky. And so, under the shimmering stars, the kingdom of Astroloria thrived once more, its nights filled with wonder and magic. The end. In a kingdom nestled between rolling hills and lush forests, there was a village known as Bramblewood. The village was famous for its vibrant gardens and the magical plants that flourished under the care of its people. However, a long drought had caused the gardens to wither, and the once green fields had turned to dust. In the center of Bramblewood stood a grand castle, where the benevolent Queen Aloan resided. Queen Aloan had always been devoted to her people, and she was deeply troubled by the suffering caused by the drought. She decided to seek the aid of an old legend, the Crystal Garden, a mythical place said to have the power to restore life and magic to the land. The Crystal Garden was rumored to be hidden deep within the enchanted forest, a place filled with magical creatures and ancient secrets. To find it, one needed a special key known as the Heart of the Forest, which had been lost for generations. The queen called upon a brave young herbalist named Finn to undertake the quest to find the Crystal Garden. Finn was known throughout the village for his knowledge of plants and his kind heart. He eagerly accepted the challenge, determined to help his home. The journey begins. Finn set out on his journey with his loyal companion, a clever fox named Ember. They ventured into the enchanted forest, a place known for its ever-changing paths and magical illusions. The forest was alive with glowing flowers and mysterious sounds, making it both beautiful and treacherous. Their first challenge was to cross the River of Echoes, which was known to confuse travelers with its repeating sounds. As Finn and Ember approached the river, they heard echoes of their own voices, making it difficult to discern the right path. Finn remembered an old story about the river and realized that the solution was to listen carefully and follow the rhythm of the natural sounds. By doing so, they were able to find the correct crossing point. The enchanted glade on the other side of the river, they arrived at the enchanted glade, a place where the trees were said to hold ancient wisdom. In the center of the glade was a majestic oak tree with a hollow trunk that was rumored to contain clues to the Crystal Garden. Finn and Ember approached the oak tree, and its bark began to glow with a soft light. The tree spoke in a gentle voice, giving them the next clue, *, seek the stars that shine so bright, where day and night are intertwined. There you'll find the hidden gate, with patience, you shall soon be aligned. *, the Starfall Meadow. Following the clue, Finn and Ember traveled to the Starfall Meadow, a mystical place where day and night seemed to blend together. The meadow was filled with flowers that bloomed only under the starlight. They searched the meadow and found a hidden stone archway covered in twinkling lights. The archway was the entrance to the Crystal Garden, but it was locked and required the heart of the forest to open. Finn and Ember knew they needed to find this elusive key. They noticed that the lights on the archway seemed to be responding to a pattern. By arranging the flowers in the meadow to match the pattern, they activated the archway, revealing a hidden passage. The Crystal Garden. Finn and Ember entered the passage and emerged into the Crystal Garden, a breathtaking sight. The garden was a dazzling array of crystals and luminous plants, each glowing with vibrant colors. At the center of the garden was a grand crystal fountain that pulsed with life-giving energy. Beside the fountain, Finn found the heart of the forest, a radiant gem that seemed to contain the essence of the garden's magic. With great care, he took the heart and prepared to return to Bramblewood. Restoring the village, Finn and Ember made their way back to Bramblewood, where they were greeted with joy and anticipation. The queen took the heart of the forest and placed it in the center of the village's main square. The moment the heart was set in place, the magic of the Crystal Garden began to spread, restoring the lushness of the gardens and the vitality of the land. The once dry fields began to bloom with vibrant colors, and the gardens flourished with new life. The villagers rejoiced, their spirits lifted by the return of their beloved greenery. Queen Aloan honored Finn and Ember for their bravery and resourcefulness. She declared them heroes of Bramblewood and celebrated their success with a grand feast. The Crystal Garden's magic continued to protect the village, ensuring that it remained a place of beauty and prosperity. Finn's adventure became a cherished tale in Bramblewood, a story of courage, wisdom, and the enduring power of nature's magic. The village thrived, and the legend of the Crystal Garden lived on, inspiring future generations to cherish and protect the natural world around them. The end. Once upon a time, in a lush valley surrounded by majestic mountains, there was a village called Eldergrove. The villagers lived in harmony with nature, guided by the wisdom of a magical silver willow tree that stood at the center of their village. The silver willow was said to have been planted by moonlight and was renowned for its shimmering leaves that could grant wishes once every 100 years, during the midnight moon, a rare event when the moon was at its brightest. As the centennial midnight moon approached, excitement buzzed through Eldergrove. The villagers prepared for the grand celebration, decorating their homes with glowing lanterns and preparing delicious feasts. However, amidst all the excitement, a shadow fell over the village. Young Elara, a kind-hearted girl with a deep love for the silver willow, discovered that the ancient tree was beginning to wither. Elara was deeply troubled. She learned from the village elder that the silver willow's withering was due to a curse cast by a wicked sorceress who lived in the Darkwood Forest, a place where no light could penetrate. The sorceress, once scorned by the village for her dark deeds, had vowed to ruin the midnight moon celebration as revenge. Determined to save the silver willow and restore the magic of the midnight moon, Elara volunteered to venture into the Darkwood Forest and confront the sorceress. The villagers, though worried, admired Elara's bravery and provided her with a magical lantern that could pierce through the darkness of the Darkwood Forest and a map that showed the way. Elara set off on her journey as the sun began to set. The forest was eerie and silent, and the darkness seemed to swallow every ray of light. As Elara ventured deeper, she encountered a mischievous fox named Finn, who was known for his clever tricks. "What brings you to the Darkwood Forest?" Finn asked, his eyes glinting in the dim light. Elara explained her quest to save the silver willow. Finn, intrigued and impressed by her determination, decided to help her. "I know the way to the sorceress's lair, but we must navigate the enchanted maze and avoid the traps she has set." With Finn's guidance, Elara navigated the maze of the Darkwood Forest, solving riddles and avoiding magical traps. They crossed a river of illusions, where they saw false images of their fears, and climbed a mountain of echoes, where they heard whispers of doubt. At last, they reached the sorceress's lair, a dark, foreboding castle covered in tangled vines and thorns. Finn and Elara crept inside, where they found the sorceress sitting on a throne of shadows. The sorceress looked up, her eyes glowing with malevolence. "What are you doing here, young one?" she hissed. Elara stood tall and spoke with courage. "I have come to lift the curse from the silver willow and restore the magic of the midnight moon." The sorceress laughed bitterly. "You think you can undo my curse? The darkness is my domain, and the silver willow will wither." Elara held up the magical lantern, its light cutting through the darkness. "Your darkness may be powerful, but the light of hope and courage can overcome it." As Elara's lantern shone brightly, the sorceress's power began to wane. The dark castle trembled, and the vines and thorns began to wither. The sorceress, seeing her power diminishing, grew desperate. She tried to summon a final wave of dark magic, but Elara's unwavering light and determination broke through. The sorceress was forced to flee, and the dark castle crumbled into dust. With the curse broken, the Darkwood Forest began to brighten, and the path back to Eldergrove was illuminated by the light of the lantern. Elara and Finn returned to the village just as the midnight moon was reaching its zenith. The silver willow, now free from the curse, glowed with renewed brilliance. Its shimmering leaves sparkled in the moonlight, and the village erupted in joyous celebration. The villagers gathered around the silver willow, their faces lit with awe and gratitude. Elara was hailed as a hero, and her bravery was celebrated with a grand feast and a special ceremony under the midnight moon. The magical light of the silver willow spread throughout Eldergrove, bringing prosperity and happiness to the village. The story of Elara's courage and the midnight moon became a cherished tale, reminding everyone of the power of hope, bravery, and the light that shines even in the darkest of times. And so, Eldergrove thrived in the light of the silver willow, forever grateful for the girl who saved their magical tree and their midnight moon. The end. Once upon a time, in a kingdom surrounded by misty mountains and shimmering lakes, there was a charming village named Starhaven. Starhaven was known for its crystal-clear nights, where the stars seemed to twinkle more brightly than anywhere else. The villagers believed that the stars were magical and watched over them, guiding their lives with their gentle light. In this village lived a young girl named Elara. Elara was known for her love of stargazing and her adventurous spirit. Every evening, she would climb the hill behind her cottage and lie on the soft grass, watching the constellations dance across the night sky. Her favorite star was the North Star, which she believed had a special connection to her dreams. One night, as Elara was stargazing, she noticed that the North Star was dimmer than usual. Concerned, she decided to investigate. With a lantern in hand and a heart full of determination, she set off on a journey to the top of the highest mountain in the land, where it was said that the stars touched the earth. The path was steep and winding, and the journey was fraught with challenges. Elara encountered a swirling snowstorm, crossed a rickety old bridge, and navigated through a dark forest filled with whispering shadows. But she pressed on, guided by the faint glow of the North Star. At the summit, she discovered a hidden cave. Inside, the walls were adorned with sparkling crystals, and at the center of the cave was a magical pool of starlight. Floating above the pool was a delicate, glowing star, its light flickering weakly. As Elara approached, a gentle voice echoed through the cave. "Who dares enter the realm of the stars?" Elara looked around and saw a wise, ancient figure emerge from the shadows. It was a celestial guardian with flowing robes that shimmered like the night sky. "I am Elara," she said bravely. "I have come to restore the light of the North Star. It is dim, and I fear for the balance of the stars." The guardian's eyes softened with compassion. "The North Star is fading because the Starstone, which powers the stars, has been stolen by a dark sorcerer. Without it, the stars cannot shine as brightly. You are the first to reach this place, and I sense that you have a pure heart." Elara's eyes widened. "How can I help retrieve the Starstone?" The guardian handed her a shimmering map and said, "Follow this map to the Shadow Realm, where the sorcerer hides. There, you must confront him and recover the Starstone. But remember, the power of the Starstone is not just physical, it also requires a heart full of courage and love." With the map in hand, Elara ventured into the Shadow Realm, a place of swirling darkness and eerie silence. She navigated through the realm, her lantern's light piercing the shadows. Eventually, she found the sorcerer's lair, a towering fortress surrounded by swirling mists. Inside, the sorcerer sat on a dark throne, the Starstone glowing ominously at his side. He was a tall figure cloaked in shadows, his eyes gleaming with malice. "Why have you come here, child?" he sneered. Elara took a deep breath. "I have come to reclaim the Starstone and restore the light of the North Star. The stars are important to the world, and their light brings hope and guidance." The sorcerer laughed. "You think you can take it from me? The Starstone's power is mine to command." With a sudden burst of bravery, Elara stepped forward and spoke from her heart. "The power of the Starstone is meant to bring light and hope, not darkness. True power lies in using it for good." Her words struck a chord with the sorcerer. He hesitated, and for a moment, his hardened exterior softened. He realized the truth in her words. Reluctantly, he handed the Starstone over to Elara, his anger giving way to a deep, introspective sadness. Elara thanked him and quickly made her way back to the summit. With the Starstone in place, its light began to radiate throughout the cave, filling it with a brilliant, warm glow. The North Star's light was restored, and the stars across the sky sparkled with renewed brilliance. When Elara returned to Starhaven, the villagers celebrated her bravery and kindness. The North Star shone more brightly than ever, and the balance of the stars was preserved. The sorcerer, having seen the error of his ways, found redemption and vowed to use his magic for good. Elara's adventure became a cherished tale in Starhaven, a story of courage, kindness, and the power of a pure heart. The stars continued to guide and inspire the village, and Elara, with her unwavering spirit, lived happily ever after. and they all lived happily ever after. Once upon a time, in a peaceful valley nestled between snow-capped mountains, there was a village that thrived around a magical lake. The lake was called Silver Lake because its waters sparkled like molten silver under the moonlight, and it was said that anyone who drank from it could be granted a single wish. In this village lived a young girl named Amara, who was known for her kindness and curiosity. Amara's mother had told her many stories about the Silver Lake and the Firebird, a magnificent bird that was said to guard the lake. The Firebird was a creature of legend, with feathers of pure flame that shimmered in brilliant hues of gold and red. It appeared only once every 100 years, soaring over the lake to ensure its magic was never misused. Amara's family was poor, and her greatest wish was to heal her ailing father, who had fallen ill with a strange sickness that no healer in the village could cure. Every day, she would visit the Silver Lake, staring into its shimmering waters, wondering if the Firebird could save her father. But the villagers always warned her, "Be careful with your wishes, Amara. The Firebird is powerful, but its magic can be unpredictable." One evening, as Amara sat by the lake under a full moon, she noticed something extraordinary. The silver waters began to ripple, though no wind blew. A brilliant light flared across the sky, and when Amara looked up, she saw the Firebird descending from the heavens, its fiery wings casting an ethereal glow over the valley. Heart pounding, Amara stood up and approached the lake's edge. The Firebird circled above the water before landing gracefully on a rock in the middle of the lake. Its eyes, glowing like embers, fixed on Amara. "Why have you come, child of the earth?" the Firebird asked, its voice both warm and commanding. Amara hesitated for a moment, then spoke with trembling determination. "Great Firebird, I seek a wish. My father is gravely ill, and no one in the village can heal him. I beg of you, grant me the power to save him." The Firebird tilted its head, its fiery feathers crackling softly. "I can grant you this wish, but you must understand that magic is never without cost. If you wish to heal your father, something of equal value must be given in return." Amara's heart sank. She had heard such warnings before, but she could not bear to lose her father. "What must I give?" she asked, her voice soft but determined. The Firebird regarded her with a long, piercing gaze. "Your kindness is your strength, young one. If you use this magic, your wish will come true, but the price will be your memories of your father. You will save him, but you will forget him forever." Amara gasped. The thought of losing the memories of her father, of their laughter, stories, and love, was unbearable. But how could she let him suffer and die? Tears welled up in her eyes as she thought of all the moments they had shared, how her father had taught her to fish in the Silver Lake, how he sang to her at night, and how his eyes always lit up with pride whenever he saw her. Could she live without those memories, even if he was alive? The Firebird waited patiently, its wings gently flickering in the night. Finally, Amara knelt at the lake's edge and spoke, her voice thick with emotion. "I cannot make that choice. To save my father and lose him in my heart. I wouldn't be able to bear it. Is there no other way?" The Firebird's eyes softened, and it let out a long, melodic trill that sounded like both sorrow and joy. "You are wise beyond your years, Amara. Many come to the Silver Lake seeking wishes, but few understand the true cost of magic. You have chosen love over desire, which is a rare and precious thing." Suddenly, the Firebird stretched out one of its fiery wings, and a single feather fell from its body, drifting slowly down to the lake's surface. The feather shimmered with every color of the rainbow as it floated toward Amara. "Take this," said the Firebird. "This feather carries a different kind of magic. One born of selflessness. It will not cost you your memories, but it will heal your father. Remember, true magic is not in the granting of wishes, but in the love and sacrifice behind them." Amara carefully caught the feather as it gently landed in her hand. It was warm to the touch, glowing faintly with an inner light. Her heart swelled with gratitude and hope. "Thank you, great Firebird," she whispered, wiping away her tears. The Firebird gave a graceful nod before spreading its magnificent wings once more. burst of light and flame, it soared into the night sky, disappearing beyond the stars. Amara hurried back to her village, clutching the feather close to her heart. When she reached her home, she placed the feather under her father's pillow and prayed to the magic of the Firebird. As the first light of dawn broke, her father stirred, his cheeks regaining their color, his breathing steady and strong once more. Amara wept tears of joy as her father awoke, smiling at her with the same warmth and love she had always known. And though she had not lost her memories, she had gained something far more precious, the understanding that love, not magic, was the greatest power of all. From that day on, Amara visited the Silver Lake not for wishes, but to honor the lessons she had learned. And every 100 years, when the Firebird returned, its brilliant flame reflected in the lake's waters, the villagers would tell the tale of the brave girl who chose love over magic, and how her heart was the greatest magic of all. The end. In the tranquil kingdom of Luminera, nestled between emerald hills and sparkling lakes, there was a small village known for its peacefulness and harmony. The villagers lived simple lives, their days filled with laughter and joy. However, the kingdom had one mystery that intrigued everyone: the legend of the starling's gift. The legend spoke of a magical starling bird that appeared only once every century. This bird was said to possess a dazzling feather that could grant one extraordinary wish to anyone who found it. The legend had become a source of hope and dreams for the villagers, who often gathered around the old oak tree in the village square to share stories and sing songs about the elusive starling. In this village lived a young girl named Eloan, known for her kindness and adventurous spirit. Eloan was fascinated by the legend of the starling's gift and often dreamed of finding the magical bird. She believed that if she could find it, she could make a wish to bring everlasting happiness to her village. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and the sky was painted with hues of pink and purple, Eloan noticed a bright light flickering in the distance. The light seemed to dance and shimmer like a beacon. Determined to uncover its source, she decided to follow it. Guided by the flickering light, Eloan ventured into the enchanted forest that bordered the village. The forest was known for its mystical creatures and magical flora. As she walked deeper into the woods, the air grew cooler, and the light grew brighter, illuminating the path with a soft, golden glow. After walking for what felt like hours, Eloan reached a serene clearing bathed in moonlight. In the center of the clearing stood a majestic tree with silver leaves that glistened like stars. Perched on one of the branches was the starling, its feathers sparkling with an ethereal glow that illuminated the entire clearing. Eloan approached the starling with awe and respect. The bird's eyes, filled with ancient wisdom, met hers. As she stepped closer, the starling began to sing a melodious tune, filling the air with a sense of tranquility and wonder. Eloan listened to the song, feeling a deep connection with the magic of the moment. When the starling finished its song, it fluttered down gracefully and perched on Eloan's shoulder. It then gently presented her with a single, shimmering feather. Eloan's heart swelled with gratitude as she accepted the feather, knowing that her wish could soon come true. Before she left, the starling spoke in a soft, melodic voice. "The gift you seek lies not only in the wish but in the heart of the one who makes it. True magic comes from the love and selflessness with which you use it." With the feather safely tucked in her hand, Eloan made her way back to the village. The journey home seemed shorter, the forest paths illuminated by the gentle light of the starling's magic. As she arrived at the village, the villagers gathered around, their faces filled with anticipation. Eloan held up the feather and spoke. "I found the starling and received this magical feather. I wish for our village to be blessed with joy, peace, and prosperity, so that we may always live in harmony." The moment Eloan made her wish, the feather began to glow brightly, and a soft breeze carried its magic throughout the village. The air filled with a sweet fragrance, and the village was bathed in a warm, golden light. The crops flourished, the river sparkled, and the villagers felt a renewed sense of happiness and unity. The magical transformation lasted for generations, and the story of Eloan and the starling's gift became a cherished legend in Luminera. The village thrived, its people forever grateful for the kindness and bravery of one young girl who had sought to make the world a better place. And so, the legend of the starling's gift lived on, a reminder that true magic is found in the selfless heart of those who seek to spread joy and love. Once upon a time, in a charming village nestled between rolling hills and a sparkling river, there was an old, abandoned lighthouse. The villagers often spoke of the lighthouse with a mix of fear and fascination, for it was said to house a magical lantern that could grant wishes to those who were truly kind of heart. In the village lived a young girl named Mira. Mira was known for her generosity and bright spirit. She often helped her neighbors, tended to the village's garden, and cared for stray animals. Mira had always dreamed of exploring the lighthouse, but she knew that the journey required a pure heart and a selfless wish. One evening, as the sun set and the sky turned a deep shade of indigo, Mira saw a beautiful, golden glow emanating from the lighthouse. She felt a surge of hope and decided that it was time to uncover the truth behind the lantern. The next morning, with a small satchel of supplies and a heart full of determination, Mira set out for the lighthouse. The path was overgrown and winding, but Mira was undeterred. She knew the journey would be difficult, but she was guided by her wish to help her village. As she approached the lighthouse, Mira noticed that it was covered in vines and moss. The once grand structure seemed to have fallen into disrepair, but the golden glow from within was still visible. With a deep breath, Mira pushed open the heavy wooden door and stepped inside. The interior of the lighthouse was dusty and dimly lit, but the golden glow grew brighter as Mira ventured further. She climbed the winding staircase, her footsteps echoing in the stillness. At the top of the lighthouse, she found a room with large windows that overlooked the village. In the center of the room stood an old, ornate lantern with intricate carvings. Mira approached the lantern, and as she reached out to touch it, a soft, ethereal voice filled the room. "Welcome, Mira. I am the spirit of the Lantern of Wishes. To activate its magic, you must prove that your heart is truly selfless." A shimmering figure appeared before Mira, and it was the guardian spirit of the lantern. The spirit's eyes sparkled with a kind, knowing look. To prove your selflessness, you must answer a question. What is the greatest wish of a heart that seeks to give rather than receive? Mira thought for a moment. She remembered the struggles of her village, the fields that were barren, the children who had few toys, and the families who struggled to make ends meet. With a determined heart, she answered, "The greatest wish of a heart that seeks to give is to see others happy and thriving." The spirit smiled warmly. "You have answered correctly, Mira. The Lantern of Wishes is now yours to command. Make your wish with sincerity, and it shall come true." Mira took a deep breath and thought of her village. She wished for prosperity and joy for her fellow villagers, hoping that they would have plenty of food, good health, and happiness. She spoke her wish aloud, her voice filled with genuine hope and love. The lantern's golden glow intensified, and the room was bathed in a warm, radiant light. Mira felt a sense of peace and fulfillment as the light enveloped her. The spirit of the lantern thanked Mira and assured her that the magic would soon reach the village. When Mira returned to her village, she was greeted with astonished faces. The once barren fields were now lush and green, and the village was filled with laughter and joy. The river had overflowed with clear, fresh water, and the homes were filled with warmth and abundance. The villagers celebrated the transformation, grateful for Mira's bravery and selflessness. They admired her not for the magical lantern but for her kind heart and the genuine wish she had made. Mira continued to live in her village, cherishing the new prosperity and joy that had come to her community. The old lighthouse remained a symbol of hope and magic, a reminder that selfless wishes and pure hearts could bring about wonderful changes. And so, under the warm glow of the lantern's magic, Mira and her village thrived and lived happily ever after, their lives touched by the light of kindness and generosity. The end. The Enchanted Compass. Once upon a time, in a kingdom nestled between enchanted forests and sparkling rivers, there was a quaint village named Greenhaven. Greenhaven was a place of peace and beauty, but it had a mysterious secret, a hidden treasure buried deep within the heart of the Whispering Forest. Legend had it that the treasure was guarded by ancient magic and could only be found by someone with a pure heart and unyielding courage. In Greenhaven lived a curious and kind-hearted young girl named Lila. Lila was known for her adventurous spirit and her love for helping others. Despite her small stature, she had a heart as vast as the forest itself. She often dreamed of discovering the hidden treasure to help her village thrive, especially since her family struggled to make ends meet. One day, while exploring her grandmother's attic, Lila stumbled upon an old wooden box covered in dust. Inside, she found a beautifully crafted compass adorned with intricate carvings of stars and moons. Attached to the compass was a note that read, "To find the hidden treasure, follow the compass with a heart full of kindness." The journey begins. Excited by her discovery, Lila decided to embark on a quest to find the hidden treasure. As she set off into the whispering forest, the compass began to glow softly, guiding her deeper into the woods. The forest was alive with magical creatures and shimmering lights, and the trees seemed to whisper secrets as she walked. Lila soon encountered a wise old tortoise named Thorn. Thorn had a gentle demeanor and spoke with a voice that rumbled like distant thunder. "To proceed, you must solve a riddle," Thorn said. "Listen carefully. I have cities, but no houses. I have mountains, but no trees. I have water, but no fish. What am I?" Lila thought for a moment and then answered, "A map." Thorn nodded in approval and revealed a hidden path that would lead Lila further into the forest. "Follow this path, but be mindful of the magic that dwells within the woods," Thorn warned. The enchanted clearing. As Lila ventured deeper, she arrived at a stunning clearing bathed in moonlight. At the center of the clearing stood a magnificent, ancient tree with branches that sparkled like diamonds. The compass in Lila's hand began to spin wildly, its needle pointing directly at the tree. Lila approached the tree and saw a small door carved into its trunk. She hesitated for a moment, then gently opened the door, revealing a spiral staircase leading downward. With a deep breath, Lila descended the staircase, her heart pounding with anticipation. At the bottom of the stairs, Lila entered a cavern filled with glittering gemstones and golden artifacts. In the center of the cavern was a pedestal with a chest covered in delicate vines. The compass's needle pointed directly at the chest. The treasure and its guardian. As Lila approached the chest, a gentle but imposing figure emerged from the shadows. It was a guardian spirit with shimmering wings and a serene expression. "You have shown great courage and kindness," the guardian said. "To claim the treasure, you must answer one final question. What is the greatest treasure of all?" Lila thought deeply and replied, "The greatest treasure of all is the love and kindness we share with others." The guardian smiled warmly and nodded. "You have spoken the truth. This treasure is not just for one, but for all who are deserving." The chest slowly opened, revealing not gold or jewels, but a beautiful, glowing orb. The orb radiated a warm light that filled the cavern and then expanded outward, touching every corner of the whispering forest. The magic of the orb. As the light spread, Lila noticed that the forest around her began to flourish. The trees grew lush and green, and the animals came out to play, their coats gleaming with vitality. The orb's magic revitalized the land, ensuring that Greenhaven would never suffer from drought or famine again. Lila returned to her village with a heart full of joy and hope. The villagers marveled at the transformation and celebrated Lila's bravery. The enchantment brought prosperity to Greenhaven, and the village thrived like never before. The legacy. Lila's adventure became a cherished tale in Greenhaven, a story passed down through generations. The compass and the orb were revered as symbols of hope and kindness, reminding everyone that the true treasure lies in the love and selflessness we show to one another. And so, Greenhaven continued to flourish, forever blessed by the magic of the enchanted compass and the heart of one extraordinary young girl. Once upon a time, in a kingdom nestled between towering mountains and endless forests, there was a hidden valley known only to a few. This valley was renowned for its breathtaking beauty, but it held a secret more wondrous than any other: the Starlight Crystal, a gem said to possess the power to grant one great wish. In the nearby village of Everwood, there lived a kind-hearted boy named Finn. Finn was known for his bravery and his willingness to help anyone in need. Though he lived a modest life, he always dreamed of making a difference in the world beyond his village. One day, while helping his father in the fields, Finn overheard a traveler speaking of the Starlight Crystal and its extraordinary power. Inspired, Finn decided that he would seek out the crystal to make a wish that could help his village.
Hey,
With a sense of adventure and a heart full of hope, Finn set out on his quest. The journey to the hidden valley was treacherous,
you blew
with
his
steep
brains
cliffs,
out.
dense
Nice.
forests, and mysterious creatures lurking in the shadows. Finn was determined, though, and he braved each challenge with courage and perseverance. As he journeyed deeper into the forest, he encountered a wise old owl perched on a gnarled branch. The owl, sensing Finn's noble intentions, spoke to him. To find the Starlight Crystal, you must prove your heart's purity. You will face 3 trials that test your bravery, kindness, and wisdom. Finn nodded, ready to face the challenges. The first trial was to cross a treacherous chasm spanned by a fragile, swaying bridge. As he stepped onto the bridge, it began to tremble and creak. Finn's heart raced, but he focused on the goal and slowly made his way across, holding tightly to the ropes. Just as he reached the other side, the bridge collapsed behind him, and he knew he had passed the first trial. The second trial was a forest filled with enchanted creatures who had been cursed to sleep until someone showed them kindness. Finn found
Hey,
a small,
you
injured
got him.
fox tangled in thorns.
Wow,
He gently freed
you
the
blew
fox
his
and tended
brains
to
out.
its wounds,
Nice.
singing softly to calm it. As he did, the curse lifted, and the forest creatures awoke, their gratitude lighting up the dark woods. Finn had succeeded in the second trial through his compassion. The final trial was to solve a riddle posed by a shimmering, silver stream that flowed through the heart of the valley. The stream spoke in a gentle voice. To reveal the path to the Starlight Crystal,
Nice headshot.
you must answer this. What can travel around the world while staying in a corner? Finn thought deeply, remembering the lessons he had learned on his journey. Suddenly, the answer came to him. A stamp, he said with confidence. The stream sparkled and parted, revealing a hidden path lined with glowing flowers. Finn followed the path to a magnificent cave where the Starlight Crystal rested on a pedestal, bathing the cave in a soft, celestial glow.
That's
Finn
how you
approached
do
the
it.
crystal and placed his hands on it. The crystal's light intensified, and a voice echoed through the cave. You have proven your heart's worth. State your wish, and it shall be granted. Finn thought of his village and the struggles they faced. I wish for my village to have prosperity and happiness, so that everyone may live well and
Hey,
support each
nice.
other.
He lost a level.
The crystal's light enveloped Finn, and a warm, golden glow spread out from the cave. When Finn returned to Everwood, he found that the village had been transformed. The fields were lush with crops, the wells were full of fresh water, and the people were smiling and content. The village thrived like never before, and Finn's wish had come true. The villagers celebrated Finn's return, and he shared the story of his journey in the trials he had faced. The tale of Finn's bravery, kindness, and wisdom became a cherished legend in Everwood, and the village prospered with a newfound sense of unity and joy. Finn continued to live a humble yet fulfilling life, knowing that he had made a difference. The secret of the Starlight Crystal remained a treasured story, passed down through generations as a reminder of the power of a pure heart and the magic that can come from selfless wishes. And so, Finn and the village of Everwood lived happily ever after, their days filled with prosperity, happiness, and the warm glow of shared dreams. Once upon a time, in a realm where seasons changed like the pages of a book, there was a hidden kingdom known as Verdantia. Verdantia was unique because it experienced eternal spring. The land was always lush and blooming, with flowers of every color carpeting the ground and trees heavy with fruit. The kingdom's ruler, Queen Aloan, had a special gift. She could control the seasons, ensuring that Verdantia stayed in a perpetual state of spring. The kingdom thrived under Queen Aloan's care, and its people were content and happy. However, there was one thing Queen Aloan wished for more than anything else: to see the world beyond Verdantia. She had heard tales of lands where the seasons changed and was curious to experience them for herself. One day, as she gazed out over her flourishing kingdom, she noticed something unusual: a withered, leafless tree at the edge of the enchanted forest, which was known to be Eternal Spring's heart. It seemed out of place in the otherwise vibrant landscape. Intrigued, she decided to investigate. The heart of the enchanted forest, accompanied by her loyal advisor, Sir Cedric, Queen Aloan ventured into the enchanted forest. The deeper they went, the more the forest seemed to shift and change, its magic responding to their presence. They finally reached the withered tree, which stood alone in a small clearing. Its bark was cracked, and its branches were bare. As Queen Aloan approached, the tree began to speak in a faint, whispering voice. "I am the keeper of seasons," it said. "Long ago, I balanced the flow of time and seasons across the land. But now, I am weak and fading. The balance is disrupted, and without my strength, Verdantia's spring will eventually wither away." Queen Aloan listened carefully as the tree explained that it needed a special artifact, the Sunstone, to restore its power and balance the seasons once more. The Sunstone was said to be hidden in the Winterlands, a far-off land where snow and ice reigned. The journey to the Winterlands determined to save her kingdom, Queen Aloan set out on a journey to find the Sunstone. She and Sir Cedric traveled through mountains, across vast deserts, and finally reached the borders of the Winterlands. Here, the world was covered in snow and ice, a stark contrast to Verdantia's eternal spring. They ventured into the Winterlands and encountered many challenges: treacherous ice caves, blinding snowstorms, and the cold-hearted Frost King, who ruled the land. The Frost King was initially reluctant to help but was eventually moved by Queen Aloan's dedication to her people. The Frost King's test: to obtain the Sunstone, Queen Aloan had to pass the Frost King's test. He presented her with a series of trials designed to test her courage, wisdom, and kindness. Each trial was more difficult than the last, but with Sir Cedric's help and her own inner strength, Queen Aloan succeeded in every challenge. The final trial was to find a hidden crystal heart buried deep within a frozen lake. The heart was guarded by a fearsome ice dragon. Queen Aloan approached the dragon with respect and kindness, explaining her mission and her love for her kingdom. The ice dragon, moved by her sincerity, allowed her to retrieve the crystal heart. It was revealed that the heart was connected to the Sunstone, which the Frost King presented to her as a reward. Restoring the balance with the Sunstone in hand, Queen Aloan and Sir Cedric returned to Verdantia. They journeyed back through the enchanted forest and to the withered tree. As they placed the Sunstone at the base of the tree, its magic surged, and the once barren branches began to bloom with vibrant leaves and flowers. The enchanted forest was restored to its full glory, and the tree's strength was renewed. Queen Aloan realized that the balance of the seasons was important not only for the world but also for the growth and change that made life beautiful. A new understanding with the restoration of the tree's magic, Queen Aloan felt a deep sense of fulfillment. She had gained a new appreciation for the changing seasons and the beauty they brought to the world. Although Verdantia remained in spring, she now understood the value of each season's unique gifts. The kingdom celebrated the return of balance and harmony, and Queen Aloan shared stories of her journey with her people. Verdantia flourished even more, and its people learned to appreciate the beauty of all seasons. Queen Aloan's adventure had taught her that true wisdom comes from understanding and embracing the world's diversity. And so, Verdantia thrived with a renewed sense of wonder and appreciation for the magic that bound their eternal spring to the changing world beyond. The end. Once upon a time, in a quaint village nestled between rolling hills and a shimmering lake, there lived a kind-hearted girl named Lila. Her family was known for their beautiful handcrafted lanterns that illuminated the village during the night. Each lantern was made with love and magic, passed down through generations. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and the village prepared for the annual Lantern Festival, Lila's mother fell ill. Without her guidance, Lila was left to complete the final lantern, a special one meant to bring prosperity and joy to the village for the coming year. Lila worked tirelessly, but as the night grew darker, the lantern remained incomplete. She was just about to give up when she noticed a faint glow coming from the edge of the forest nearby. Curiosity piqued, she decided to follow the light. Through the whispering trees and over the sparkling stream, Lila ventured deeper into the forest until she arrived at a clearing bathed in an ethereal glow. There, hovering above a small, ancient pedestal, was a lantern unlike any she had ever seen. Its light was soft and inviting, with colors dancing like the northern lights. Just as Lila reached out to touch it, a gentle voice spoke from behind her. "Greetings, young one," said a wise old woman with eyes like the twilight sky. "I am the guardian of the enchanted lantern. This lantern holds the magic of dreams and wishes. Lila, surprised but determined, explained her predicament. I need to complete the lantern for the festival. My mother is ill, and I don't know if I can finish it in time. The guardian listened intently. This lantern can help you, but its magic must be used wisely. It can grant one wish, but only if it is made with pure intentions and a true heart. Lila thought for a moment. She wished for her village to be blessed with happiness and prosperity for the coming year. With a deep breath, she made her wish and touched the enchanted lantern. The lantern's light grew brighter, and a warm breeze swirled around Lila, carrying the magic of her wish into the night sky. The guardian smiled kindly. You have chosen well. Your heart is pure, and your wish is selfless. As Lila made her way back to the village, she found that the lantern she had been working on was now glowing with the same magical light she had seen in the forest. With renewed energy, she finished decorating it with intricate patterns and vibrant colors. The lantern festival began, and as each lantern was lit, the village was bathed in a warm, enchanting glow. The magic of the enchanted lantern spread throughout the village, bringing joy, prosperity, and a sense of unity. Lila's mother, feeling the magic's touch, began to recover. The village celebrated with great festivities, knowing that their wishes had been granted. Lila's selflessness and the magic of the enchanted lantern had made the festival one to remember. And so, under the shimmering lights of the lantern festival, Lila and her village lived happily ever after, knowing that the true magic of the lanterns came from the kindness and love shared by those who made them. The end. The lost kingdom of the Starlight Lake. Once upon a time, in a distant land where the mountains kissed the sky and the valleys were shrouded in mist, there was a magical lake known as Starlight Lake. This lake was famous for its sparkling waters that reflected the night sky, even during the day. Legends told of a hidden kingdom beneath its surface, a kingdom filled with wonders and magic. In a small village near the lake lived a kind-hearted girl named Eliana. She was known for her love of adventure and her unyielding curiosity. Every evening, she would sit by the lake, watching the stars dance upon its surface and dreaming of what lay beneath the shimmering waters. One evening, as the sun began to set and the stars started to twinkle, Eliana noticed something unusual. The surface of the lake began to glow with a soft, golden light, and a gentle breeze carried a melody that seemed to come from deep within the water. Her heart raced with excitement. Could this be the moment the legend spoke of? Determined to discover the truth, Eliana took a deep breath and waded into the lake. As she moved further into the water, she noticed that the golden light grew brighter and the melody grew clearer. The water was warm and comforting, and she felt as though she were floating on a cloud. Suddenly, the surface of the lake began to part, revealing a hidden path of luminous stones leading downward. Eliana followed the path, her heart pounding with anticipation. As she descended, the light around her grew more dazzling, and the melody became a harmonious chorus. At the bottom of the path, Eliana found herself in a magnificent underwater kingdom. The palace was made of shimmering coral, and the walls were adorned with pearls and precious gems. Schools of colorful fish swam gracefully through the water, and the air was filled with the scent of blooming underwater flowers. A regal figure approached her, a mermaid queen with flowing, silver hair and a crown of sea glass. "Welcome, brave traveler," the queen said with a warm smile. "I am Queen Leora of the lost kingdom of Starlight Lake. You are the first to discover our realm in many years. What brings you here?" Eliana bowed respectfully. "I have always been fascinated by the legends of your kingdom. I wish to see if they were true and to learn more about the magic that lies beneath Starlight Lake." Queen Leora's eyes sparkled with approval. "Your curiosity and bravery have brought you here. We are a kingdom of magic and harmony, but we have faced a grave problem. A dark spell has been cast upon our realm, causing our magic to fade and our kingdom to wither. Only a heart of pure intent can lift the spell and restore our kingdom to its former glory." Eliana's eyes widened. "How can I help?" The queen handed her a small, ornate vial filled with a glowing liquid. "This is the essence of the moon's light. It has the power to break the spell, but it must be poured into the Heartstone, a magical gem that lies hidden in the depths of our kingdom. The Heartstone is protected by enchantments and will require both courage and wisdom to reach. Eliana accepted the vial with determination. I will do my best. Guided by the queen's instructions, Eliana ventured deeper into the kingdom. She encountered various challenges along the way: cunning sea serpents, intricate puzzles, and deceptive illusions. With each challenge, she relied on her courage and her keen sense of right and wrong. Eventually, Eliana reached the chamber where the Heartstone was kept. It was a grand, circular room with a pedestal in the center, upon which rested the Heartstone. The stone was dark and dull, its magic seemingly drained. Eliana approached the Heartstone and carefully poured the essence of the moon's light over it. The liquid seeped into the stone, and a brilliant light erupted from the Heartstone, filling the room with a warm, golden glow. The enchantments that protected the Heartstone dissolved, and the kingdom's magic began to flow back, rejuvenating the coral palace and the underwater gardens. Queen Leora appeared beside Eliana, her eyes filled with gratitude. You have restored our kingdom's magic and saved us from darkness. For your bravery and pure heart, we offer you a gift. Whenever you need us, you may call upon the magic of the Lost Kingdom, and we will come to your aid. Eliana smiled, feeling a deep sense of fulfillment. Thank you, Queen Leora. I will cherish this gift. With a final farewell, Eliana made her way back to the surface, leaving the enchanted realm behind. As she emerged from the lake, the golden light faded, and the lake's surface returned to its serene, sparkling beauty. Back in her village, Eliana shared the tale of the Lost Kingdom and the magic she had witnessed. The villagers marveled at her bravery and the wonders she had seen. Though the kingdom was hidden from view, the magic of Starlight Lake continued to inspire and protect the village, a reminder of the courage and kindness that could overcome even the darkest of spells. And so, the legend of the Lost Kingdom of Starlight Lake lived on, and Eliana's story became a cherished part of village lore, reminding all who heard it that true magic lies not just in enchanted realms, but in the hearts of those who seek to make the world a better place. And they all lived happily ever after. I hope you enjoyed this fairy tale.